Good morning, everyone. Good morning. How are you guys today on this Sunday? I hope you guys are doing well. Welcome to today's Q&A Sunday. As always, I'll wait for about 3-4 minutes for people to get up in here, for people to get the alerts, all that good stuff. All right, looks like I just got the alert across my phone, so I guess I'm assuming that everybody else will get them too. All right. Then we'll get started. Then I'll explain. What's up, Aaron? Then I'll explain what Q&A Sundays are, and we'll go from there. What's up, NC Biggs? So that everybody understands that as long as there is participation, we'll continue to go. But if not, we're going to cut this off in an hour because I don't want to really. I can do some other things too while because this is mainly this Q&A Sundays is for you, for the people that don't want to be slaves anymore. People that don't even know if they're slaves or not. They hear the word slave and they think of the movies and stuff like that, and it has nothing to do with that. You know, you enslave yourself, but that's another story. But anyway, I can get you out of it. I can give you the blueprint to get out of that slavery. Why? Because I was once a slave. So this is for you. What's up, Dave Sincere? Hello, Calvin. What's going on? What is up? So I'm gonna give let me give a couple more minutes for people to get up in here. Man, it's raining today here in South Carolina, but you know the wonderful thing about it is I know it's temporary. If I was in Seattle and it rained, I know that's gonna be like that for at least a week or two of rain and cloudy sky. You know, that's why I left Seattle. Born and raised in Seattle, Washington, there until I was 49. I moved out of there last year, 2019. All right, 49 years. And one day I just woke up. I was like, man, I am tired of the rain, cloud, and gloomy weather. Now it's the perfect city to live in if you're in IT, and that's what I was in. I was IT for 20 years. So now that I'm out, don't want to even look at a computer again. I am done with that. Done with that for sure. All right. Get on up in here. Get started in about 10 seconds. No. No, I mean, it's cool. I can go back anytime and visit. It's going to be nice to go back and visit Seattle. And most likely when I visit, I will only visit in the summertime. Right. But wintertime, I'm not going from a warm place to a cold place to visit unless it's a must. But I don't miss family and friends. Well, put it this way, Dave, as I got out of debt, my whole friend circle changed. That's the best way I can explain it. It just changes. So I don't really miss. That was already ending once I got out of debt because I didn't really have things in common with my friends the way I used to as when I was in debt. You know, you go to, like when I was in debt and go to barbecues or, you know, functions, some Super Bowl parties or whatever. You get there, somebody's barbecuing out in the back, and then what are you talking about in the back? You're talking about work, how long you been at a job, how many hours you're putting in, did I get promoted, or I'm this, that now. And, you know, people brag about how many years they've been at a job. Oh man, I've been in my job for like 15 years. People say that like a proud thing to be at 15 years of your life at one's place. That never sat well with me. And then once I got out of debt, I was like, oh, that's why I felt like that, you know? So. All right, welcome everyone. My name is LJ Young, and I'm a 100% debt-free motivational speaker and personal finance educator. I help people become financially free by helping them financially see outside what I call the debt matrix. And the debt matrix is a place where everybody lives that believes in credit and debt and financing things that go down in value and cannot figure out why they're still living the paycheck to paycheck, no matter how many raises they get, right? So this is where I lived for the first 40 years of my life before I woke up, found Dave Ramsey. Dave Ramsey basically said, take the math that you learned in grade school, elementary school, and apply it to your finances, and you will win with money. starting with yourself. Zero starts with you, Linnell. And then that's what I did, and I was free. Opened my eyes to a whole different economy, a whole different financial world that was always in my face, but I couldn't see it because why? I was a slave living in the debt matrix. Okay. So now that I'm free, it's an I always get those two words. Indescribable feeling. Is it undescribable or indescribable? Somebody post that. It's a You can't really explain it. Okay. You can't explain it, but it's a freedom unlike anything I've ever felt in my life. So once I felt that, I had a overwhelming passion to figure out how to help others get out of debt. So first, that's kind of off subject, but at first I went to Facebook and I was trying to promote debt free. But once I realized that Facebook is a enclosed type of atmosphere. The only people that are really seeing your stuff are people like you. Like, so all the people that I had in, when I was in debt, most of my friends were in debt. So they're going to be my Facebook friends. So of course we're going to all agree on what we agree, because that's your circle, right? But once I got out of debt, I noticed that barely anything was the same. So I had to escape that. And I said, okay, I'm going to go to YouTube, since YouTube is the biggest platform. It's the largest in the whole world. So I said, that's the one I'm going to. Okay. Because that's the only one that'll fit what I'm trying to teach. So anyway, I help people get out of the debt matrix by showing them things that don't make mathematical sense, yet people keep doing them, right? So you probably call yourself a homeowner. No, you got a mortgage. Well, if you have a mortgage, that's not true. You're not a homeowner, but you don't know the reason why. If you have a mortgage, right, and you call yourself a homeowner, the reason why you're calling yourself a homeowner is because you don't know you're not a homeowner. That's why you're saying it, because whatever you're saying is not mathematically true. But those are the glitches in the debt matrix, right? You're like, oh man, how come I've been calling myself a homeowner? No, mathematically, no, it's not true. That's part of the program. That's how slaves are made. Student loan, going to college for 4 years, keeping your student loans your entire life. And then your student loans are older than your mortgage, and you really don't understand that if your student loans are older than your mortgage, you're never going to be a homeowner ever. How do I know that? Because you haven't paid off your student loans. If you haven't paid off your student loans, you are most definitely not going to pay off a house. Okay. If you have your student loans for like 10, 15, 20 years, you are not going to pay off a house in 30. Okay. But you don't know that. Indescribable. Okay. Thank you, Aaron. Appreciate it, man. Really do. You don't know that slaves don't know that they're not going to do that, So this is what I do. I help people snap out of it, and then you become free. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a link here. Okay. So you can either ask your question in the comments, do a super chat, go straight to the top or whatever. It doesn't matter. I don't really care. But or you can come online. You don't have to get on camera. There's no number to call in. You just click on the link, come in, turn your camera off, leave it on. It's your choice. And then you can ask me a question. You can come up. Maybe you like me. Maybe you don't like what I'm saying. I don't really care. It doesn't bother me. As long as you're professional about it, I'm cool with it. I'm cool with a debate. It doesn't bother me at all. Just understand that if you come up here, you got to be mathematically correct. Okay. If your math is not right, you're going to be coming up unarmed and you just don't know it. So I'm just kind of giving you guys a warning. All right. Whatever you say has to make mathematical sense. All right. Okay. Because everybody in the room is going to see that it doesn't if you say something like that. Right. All right. Dave says they'll openly tell you they don't want to hear that cheesy on Facebook. They sure will. They enjoy and brag about being in debt. Yeah, that's why I had to get off of Facebook, because it's Facebook and social media, period. Really, it's a place for slaves, really. I mean, no, not a place for slaves. It's a place for people that understand how money works to sell. And then there's it's also a place for slaves to congregate and talk about like-minded stuff, mortgages, student loans. I hope the president does something about taxes, stuff like that. They love talking amongst themselves. So I understand the purpose of social media. All right. What's up, live? How you doing? I sold my stock and did a withdrawal on my 403b, paid off 6 debts, only have 3 more debts to pay off. I have 10 months remaining on my car. Should I pay it off or let it or go save to buy one cash? I have 10 months remaining on my car. Should I pay it off or well, okay, the way you're saying it is as if you have a choice, right? If you got 10 months left on your car, wait, you have no choice but to pay it off first and then go buy one in cash. All right. You don't, there's really no, there is no option to do one or the other according to mathematics. Okay. But congratulations on all the other stuff for sure. Hey man, congratulations, man. Pay the car off, sell it, whatever you need to do, but you cannot, you got to make a decision on this car first. So I suggest paying it off, selling it, whatever you want to do, but do that first. Okay. What's up, Urban Bros? You guys need to check these guys out. Vegan guys. This is where I get my sea moss from. Urban Bros BR. Urban Bros BR on Instagram. Check them out, man. These guys are very knowledgeable, man. I've been knowing these guys for at least 2 to 3 years now. Man, consistency. Okay. Consistency. That's what you look for. You know how my channel is? I'm consistent with videos and talking about the same thing over and over. It's consistency. That's how you know the true people that are masters in their craft. What's up, Steven? How you doing, man? Steven be going through all my videos, man. You be going way back sometimes. I'll be like, damn, I forgot about that damn video. Urban Bro says, lucky I found you on Facebook. I wasn't even using that platform much. Oh, yeah. I appreciate it, man. I'm glad you did too. I mean, social media is a great place to sell. Okay, don't get me wrong, but don't jump on social media looking for your answers to your financial problems, right? It starts with you. If you want to become free, you're at the right spot right now. This is the spot to become free. This is the spot that help you no longer be a slave. And I've been doing these Q&A Sundays for a while now, right? It's for you guys. All right, this is not for me. This is for you to ask questions and not be shy anymore. Exactly. Keep paying it until you own it, because again, you really have no choice. I know a lot of people think, and I'm not saying just you live, I'm just saying in general, people always say, hey man, should I do this instead of that? Well, if you got a car loan balance, that means you have no money to buy anything cash, right? So you got to pay that car off, and then you can take that car. Maybe that car is worth more than the car you want. You can just sell it, keep it. It's totally up to you. Yeah, I get my sea moss gel from Urban Bros, and I put it in my protein shakes. All right. And I tell you, man, hey man, I be reading the stuff they post about the minerals and stuff. I swear, man, when I start eating this stuff, my hair grows fast. Now I hate it, already grew fast already, but my facial hair, my hair on my head, it almost makes me upset because I got to drop some money for these haircuts. I'm getting tired of paying for these haircuts because you guys know I've been I've been shaving my head for years, right? Man, these haircuts, man, and it's not the price of the haircut because I got a really good barber, but my hair grows too fast to be dropping that kind of money every couple of weeks, man. Anyway, Q&A Sundays is for you guys, right? This today is for you to ask me questions for free. If you want a consultation, you can go to SavingsMinusDebt.com, where I can lay out the blueprint for you. All I got to do is see your stuff and I'll organize it and say, hey, this is what you do to be free. That's it. I'll lay out the plan. All you got to do is follow it. And you won't just walk away thinking, oh, I'm just going to do what LJ just told me to do. No, you're going to see what I give you is mathematically true. Right? What I give you, you're going to either believe the math that you see on the paper or you're not, because when you leave, you're going to know that the math that you're seeing is right. And it's going to blow your mind for a little while. Wow, I'm that deep in debt. Yeah, that's what you are. Now all you got to do is believe it if you ever want to be free. Now, most slaves don't know what their total debt is. Most slaves, they might have an idea, but they'll say, hey, they'll start saying slave sayings like, you only live once, you can't take money with you, what are you gonna do, die? You can't, they say stupid stuff like that to justify staying in debt because they'll see that large number And they're like, man, that will take me years to pay off. Yeah, it will take you years, but when slaves say it like that, they say it like they have a choice to do it or not do it. You don't have a choice. That debt will be there until you take care of it. No matter how you take care of it, it will be there until you do. So you have no choice. What's up, Kevin Jones? What's going on? What's up, Johnny Blaze? How you doing? You guys, let me put it this way. Sometimes at night when I be thinking about this whole process, sometimes I be thinking, I got this, I got this surefire way for anybody to become financially free in the palm of my hands. Do you guys know what that? I don't know if you ever know what that feels like. Something in my hands that will change anybody's life that pays attention to it. Your whole life will change forever. You'll never go back ever. You'll be a part of a whole different economic system with people that understand how it works. The only difference between slaves and non-slaves believe in mathematics. Slaves do not. That's it. There's no trick. There's no special. You know how when you watch these finance channels, they throw out socialism and capitalism and assets and liabilities. And when you're in debt, if you're listening to that stuff and you say, man, that's a lot of words, this is what I want you to think to yourself. As soon as you hear all that stuff, I want you to say to yourself, do I know how much debt I'm in? If the answer is no, don't worry about any of that. Don't worry about what the economy's doing. Don't worry about the taxes. Don't worry about being in lower class, middle class, upper class. Don't worry about any of that. You're a slave. None of that matters to that doesn't matter to you. That none of that has anything to do with you. That's just designed to keep you confused and in debt. What's up, Sharif? Sharif says, I got a coworker deep in debt, and now he's scamming, trying to take all the OT, and it's starting to piss me off. Well, put it this way, Sharif. Why are you being pissed off because he's taking all the overtime? Let slaves have all that overtime. Let them have it. Unless you're trying to get overtime to pay off your debt, okay, I get it, right? But if you're not in debt, don't worry about what slaves, let them have it. What's up, Ill Wills, man? What's going on? Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. Ill Will's been busy, man. You ain't been waking me up at like 6 o'clock in the morning with your bright text message. Hey, man, check this out. Hey, read that. I swear, Ill Wills, man. I swear he wakes up the birds. He probably walks out of his house and say, "Damn, how come these birds ain't chirping?" And go start shaking trees. What's up? I'm set apart. How you doing? Hello, Holly Taylor. How you doing? Welcome. So again, here's the link. If you want to talk to me, ask me a question. But let me give you an idea of the people that debt free like a mug. That's what I'm talking about, man. That's what I'm talking about. Let me give you an idea of what slaves you guys can't see. Okay. All right, now slaves believe there are economic classes, lower class, middle class, upper class, right? Those don't exist. That's an illusion. Okay, there's only two economic classes. The debt class and the non-debt class. That's it. There's only two. See, in the debt matrix, there's three: lower class, middle class, upper class, right? You come outside the debt matrix, you understand there's only two. There's the debt class and the non-debt class. That's it. There's nothing more than that. Right? And you probably still don't understand when I say, like, what do you mean? I've been knowing this all my life. I make this much money and I'm in the middle class. So say like you make $100,000 a year. You probably consider yourself middle class. Whatever you believe, it's totally up to you. It's because you see some numbers on the screen and say, hey, people that make this much and that much, they're considered middle class. So you see it and you believe it. I get it. I totally get it. Right. But if you have a mortgage and you have student loans, right? And maybe a few credit cards. Let's say you have a mortgage, let's say 300,000. Let's say you got student loans and you're $100,000 in student loan debt. 300,000 plus 100,000 is 400,000 negative. Okay, so you take your savings that you believe you have in your bank account, right? Just let's just go with the cash that you can go to your bank account and get, right? I want you to go savings, your savings in your savings account minus $400,000 equals the class that you're in. Savings minus 400,000 equals the economic class that you're in. Now, if you're negative $400,000 in the hole, you still think you're middle class? What do you think you are? You're in the debt class. You're nothing more than a slave. You're just a high paid slave. That's it. Ill Will says, I fell back, bruh. I sit in the cubicle, not you. Get your rest. I will see you on the other side soon. Yes, you will. Yeah, it ain't no going back. You can't. I already know it's planted inside. It's already planted in you. Once you get this in your head and it's planted and it's growing, there is no going back. There is no ignoring it. There is no pretending that it doesn't exist. You're gonna know once you taste a little bit of freedom. That's it, man. That's it. There is no going back. You know what? You know what? Having a job. Let me tell you something. I'm imagining this. I'm imagining 40 plus. Thinking back at my work hours, 40 plus hours a week because I was salary. I used to always work more than 40 hours a week, even though they were paying me 40 hours a week on a salary. I always worked more. Okay, they were getting over. They were getting all their money plus out of my. Anyway, I think about it two ways. All right, your employer owns the majority of the time in your life. They own the majority. They own you 5 days a week, while 2 days a week is yours, supposedly yours. If they don't call you, if they don't email you, if they don't text you. So out of the time in your life, out of a week, they get 5, you get 2. That you think that ever dawned on me? You better believe that's why I thought Saturday and Sunday were so special, because those are the only 2 days a week that I supposedly that were my days. And I had to cram in everything I needed to do in my life in 2 days. Sleep, uh, do some things around the house, whatever. Doesn't matter. Now to think about a 40-hour work week in my life today, that sounds like literal prison to me. Prison, financial life prison. You have Since I've been free, I had no idea life was like this. I had no idea. I had no clue that life was so free. I could do anything. I can do anything I want. Wake up when I want, go somewhere when I want, eat at a restaurant when I choose. I can do the opposite of the majority. When I want to get around, drive around town, I'll just wait about 10 o'clock and then go out and do my business. I don't have to wait till 4 when all the slaves are getting off work and everything's crowded, stores are crowded. I'll just go at 10, 9 while everybody's at work. That sounds like prison to me. There's no way. Then they tell me how long my breaks are. When my jobs, I've always had an hour lunch, right? And I used to always think that was special because the majority of people only get 30 minutes for lunch. They say, oh man, I only get a 30-minute lunch. I used to go, yeah, I get an hour. Like I was proud because I get 30 minutes more. I thought I was something, or since I was making salary, I thought I was special than the hourly worker. It's the stupidest nonsense ever. I feel embarrassed. Oh man, you get a 15-minute break after 15 minutes. What are you going to do in 15 minutes? By the time you get up from your desk and walk to wherever the lunchroom is or whatever, you already didn't use 5, and maybe you want to warm something up to eat. That's 10 minutes. You got about 5 minutes to eat, if that, and then get back to your desk. No, sir. No, sir. Oh man, you get 1 week a year for vacation. I work 365 days, and I get out of that whole year, I get 1 week to myself. Listen to how that sounds. Now, Since I was salary, I used to get 2 to 3 weeks. I thought that was special. Out of the whole year, I get 3 weeks. My employer says, "Hey, you get this. If and listen to this, I can work all year, and then I get X amount of, say, like 2 weeks a year, right? I can only take the 2 weeks if my employer approves it. On the days they say, "Oh, it's okay for me to take the days that I earned." That that's slavery right in your face. Right in your face. The days you want to take the vacation that you earn, it must be approved by them. Crazy, man. Mm. You think I saw that when I was working? I ain't seen none of that. To go back into the working world right now and sit in a cubicle looking at a computer screen or several computer screens for 8 hours a day? Hell no. Mm, hell no. It will says facts, LJ. Sunday evening, my mood changes from time to time. Oh, yeah, right. Time to time. When I see that 60-minute clock being advertised for the show, I'm like, damn, here comes Monday. You speaking facts, LJ. It should not. Man, can you? Okay, check this out. I'm glad you brought that up, It Will. You get Saturday and Sunday off. You don't really get a full. You don't really get a full day, a full weekend, right? Because when Sunday hits, soon as it hits about 3 o'clock, your mind is already preparing yourself for Monday. You got to get to bed. You got to get some stuff together. Maybe you got to get a few things done before you. So you really only get a day and a half because you can't really even count Friday, right? So you get one full day, which is Saturday, and then maybe a half a day on Sunday, counting on what time you wake up. No, sir. No, sir. If you want, if you want to be free, you need to come see me. I promise you, I have the answer. Give me while my prices are low, because not many have the skill that I have. I want you guys to understand that. And so since many don't have the skill that I have, I can charge a premium price for it. And the one thing that's that's so lovely about this, excuse me, it's so simple. It's so simple that slaves don't even believe it. They think it's more complicated. Oh, it's more than simple math. It's way more than that. Anybody you hear say that, the first question I want you to ask them, do you have student loans? If they say yes, that's why they believe it's more complicated, because they went to college for 4 years and they're paying on the student loans for 20. That's why they believe it cannot be that simple, because they don't know. They don't know. Again, you think slaves would call themselves homeowners if they knew they were not home? They don't know they're not homeowners. You guys that listen to me in the background, you guys got to understand something. They don't know. If you got a close relative or friend finance a car, why do you think they're financing a car? Because they don't know. So you can't get mad at them. Don't get mad at them, because slaves are vital to the economy. You guys are if you guys listening to me that you have mortgages and car loans and you're making payments on cell phones, we need you to keep doing that until you're dead. If your student loans are older than your mortgage, we need you to keep doing that, because we know that you're never going to be a homeowner. You're probably thinking, how do you know that? Because you have your student loans are older than your mortgage. What do you mean? You think when you think when slaves walk in to the bank and get mortgages and ask for a mortgage, the slaves believe, of course, they know the banks are going to look at their credit report, right? And the slaves believe they're just looking at their credit score. No, they're just going into your credit report and see if you have some old ass student loans. Because if you have a 10 or 20-year-old student loan and you're coming in asking for a mortgage, they're going to offer you a subprime mortgage. Why? Because you don't know. You don't know you shouldn't be walking into a bank asking to get a mortgage when you have student loans older than your children. They're going to offer you a subprime mortgage because it's obvious from your credit report that you don't know. Dave says, I talked with an old friend last night and it was disappointing to hear. She's a consultant and makes big bucks, six figures. She's branched out and started her own business, but because she wasn't great or knowledgeable with finances, she put all her business expenses on her oh God, personal credit card accounts. Now because of COVID, business has shrunk down for her, but she's severely in debt. She also has rental property and everything is in her. And oh God. Yeah, she's in some deep boo-boo. She's in some deep boo-boo. I feel bad for people like that. And again, I can help those people so easily. Even in her situation, I'll still have the answer for her. I know exactly because this can be the worst time, or this can be the time to change your life forever. She says she can't get approved for anything now. Her debt to income ratio is too high. You better believe it. The bank already knew that though. The bank already knew that. They already knew she was going to go bust. She was the only one that didn't know she was going to go bust. Holly Taylor says, nowadays I'm using my old debt matrix money to buy stocks. My old debt matrix money to buy stocks, gold and silver. Oh yeah, because you're debt free because it's real. Congratulations. Do that. What's up, Gabriel, man? Where you been? What's going on? So LJ, you should advise people to leave there to get out of the rat race. Advise people to leave there to get out of the I'm glad you brought that up, Gabriel. Let me explain something to you guys, because and I'm gonna give it to you so you can understand what that means. Because I remember being in a debt matrix and people used to always say, hey, LJ, get out of the rat race, get off that wheel. But nobody really explained that to me. All right. So I'm going to explain it to you so you can understand what that means. All right. You probably already know pretty much that you're the rat. Okay. You're the rat running on the wheel, but you don't know what the wheel is. The wheel is revolving credit. That's why it's a circle. Because and you notice who's powering that wheel? You. The faster you run, the faster that wheel runs. It's more you keep, the more you keep getting in deeper and deeper in debt. That's revolving credit. That's the wheel. Now the reason why you're running, because nobody really explained why I'm up there running. You're causing it. You're running from debt, chasing money. And until you realize that, you're going to always be on that wheel until you're dead. The only way that wheel is going to stop, as long as you keep being unconscious running, the only way it's going to stop is when you die. Now, the reason why so you guys understand about having a job, okay? Once I once I quit my job, now my only goal is to own the time of my life and also have peace and love in my life. That's my only goal. And if, just like I told you before, owning 100% of the time in your life, you can't do that with a job. Because if your job owns you there's only 7 days in a week. If your job owns you 5 days a week and you have two, that's pretty a clear indicator that you don't own the time in your life. Your job owns. So that's impossible. I'm not saying quit your job. I'm not saying only slaves work. I'm not saying any of that. I'm just showing you a mathematical fact. You cannot own the time in your life if you have a job. That's it. That's all I'm saying. I don't know. Between those two, you got to figure it out. I did. That's why it's so scary to the thought. I mean, think about it. If you have a job right now, I want you to think about walking into your boss's office and say, I quit. You know why that fear is so huge? Because the reward is even bigger on the other side when you do it. The reward is huge. But you can't quit your job when you're in debt. You got bills, you got debt. You can't quit. But once you get out of debt, you can. Then you can walk in just like I did, gave my 2-week notice. Here you go. They say, why are you leaving? They say, where you going? I said, I don't know. I had not a clue of what I was going to do. Not a clue. I just quit. Ill Will says, LJ speaking facts again. LJ helped me with simple things I didn't see. Trust me, I have way more of a savings monthly. This is not a pyramid scam. LJ truly helped me and changed my way of thinking. I know Ill Will's, man, Ill Will's been riding with me, man. Shit, it's been a minute now. I mean, and it was a couple times Ill Will has reached out to me out of the blue at the right time when I needed it. Because I don't want you guys to think that since I'm debt free, I'm unfazed by a lot of things. One thing I realized last night, let me explain what I realized last night. Peace and love go together. You cannot have peace without love, and you cannot have love without peace. Being in debt disrupts peace. I'm learning that I have peace. I had to figure out how to have peace within myself. And anything that disrupts that peace must be removed. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter if it's a person. It doesn't matter if it's a thing. It doesn't matter. If it disrupts your peace, it must be removed because you will not have peace within yourself. And love is peace. People must find peace within themselves before they can involve. You can't have love with the disruption like that. That cannot be. So if you're in a situation like, for example, if you believe, like if you're with somebody and you think you're in love, but you're always arguing and fighting, that's not love. That's disruption of peace. That's the same. If you're in a relationship and you're fighting over money, that's a disruption. That's not peace. Yes, it literally means that for sure. Slaves don't know that. My situation wasn't even in dire straits. I just needed my scenario to be revamped. Exactly. Ill Wills. There's a lot of people out there that are successful. They just don't know this piece. And those people that are successful, excuse me, whatever society deems that successful. But if you're a society deemed success, right? But in the back of your mind, you know something's still wrong. I was there. That was me. Something was wrong. I'm telling you the piece that's what's wrong. I'm telling you the piece that's wrong. I have the answer for you. I do. And if you're successful and you're making money right now, I could change your life forever. Your whole entire life. Aaron says, I quit. Do you know how empowering? I want you guys to understand how good that felt. Now, the job I quit, it wasn't a bad job. They didn't do me wrong. They wouldn't treat me bad. No, it's nothing to do with that. It was about owning the time of my life. Now, at the time that I did it, I didn't know I was doing it so I could own the time of my life, because I didn't know I didn't own the time of my life, because I thought all my life, I thought having a job was normal. Working 5 days a week, weekends off, holidays. I've been told that since birth. So I thought everybody didn't know. That's not true. That's not true. Your goal should be to own 100% of the time in your life. And if you own 100% of the time in your life, you have all the time in the world to make as much money as you wish. I'll leave on the day a 2-week notice. Oh, you know what? This is what I say like this. Don't. Now, usually, like when in the position I was in my job, right? I had admin rights over the whole system, right? I was tier 3 or whatever you want to call it, right? Whatever employer name gave me, the name the employer gave me, right? And usually people in my position, they are usually let go right at that moment, because hold on for a second. They are usually let go right then because they don't want anybody to go in and destroy the system, blah, blah, blah. And I'm sure if they fired me, I'm sure they would have let me go that day, right? But I'm thinking since I gave my 2 weeks, they They allowed me to stay the whole 2 weeks. Do you guys know how torturous that was to stay the whole 2 weeks? I was ready to go. It was the weirdest feeling, man. I was so ready to go. I would come to the job, I would walk through these doors, I'd be like, damn, I'm being here for 8 hours in this building? I can't go nowhere. Then I go to lunch, I'll be like, an hour to, even though I get an hour, it still take me a few minutes to drive to the restaurant where we're going, right? That's like if the restaurant's closed, that's like 10, 15 minutes right there. So now I got 45 minutes to eat. Sit down, you got to talk, order the food. Okay, that's another 10, 15 minutes. I really only got about 15, 20 minutes to eat and before I got to get back in the car. So it's not really an hour. Do you know what it's like to go out and go have lunch with my woman or go down to have breakfast and just sit there as long as until I'm done? You guys don't have, man, you got to experience it, man. And I can give you that. You guys you have no idea what it's like to have this in the palm of my hand that I could share. I'm changing the lives of people. SMD, savings minus debt, is a family. You guys understand that? It's a family. We will change your life in every aspect of your life. Your whole life will change. Do you know what it's like to walk around with this in my hands every single day? I see people, oh man, it's crazy. What's going on, Ken? What's going on, LJ? You sure they ready to hear? They don't own their own time. Everybody got to be ready to hear. Now, age matters because one day you're gonna be dead. Like, I wish somebody back in my 20s, when I was in my 20s, I wish somebody would have walked up to me and said just like this, Linnell. I would have been like, yeah, you know you're gonna be dead one day, right? I would have said, well, yeah, everybody knows that. Yeah. Then don't you know time is the most valuable thing on earth then? Doesn't that just make sense to you? I wish somebody would have said it to me like that. I would have stopped believing what was money. Because what slaves don't know, you guys don't even understand, okay? Slaves, if you're listening, listen. No currency in the world exists for you. Gold, silver, platinum, cryptocurrency, whatever. Why do you think, put it this way, why do you think there's about 15 trillion different cryptocurrency? Because it doesn't matter. It doesn't exist. The dollar bills in your pocket don't even exist. That don't even, gold, nothing exists for you. You're slaves. You live in the negative. I wish somebody would have told it to me like that in my 20s. I would have been like, what? Show me what you're talking about. And then I would have showed them and had somebody show me mathematically and say, hey, see this? Yeah, yeah. Add up all your savings, then add up all your debt. Savings minus debt equals how much money you have in real life. So what do you see right there? I would have said a large negative number. Yeah, now all you got to do is believe it. Hey, Linnell, you see all these people calling themselves homeowners with mortgages? I would have been like, yeah, is it mathematically true what they're saying? I would have said, no. Then why are they saying it? Because they don't know. They don't know what they're saying. Aaron says they don't deserve a 2-week notice from me. Okay, hey, and you know what I'm saying, Aaron? If it's like that, that's how you treat it. That's how you do it. What's up, NC worker? Gabriel says, "Nah, LJ, there will always be bills to pay. You're crazy." Exactly. Debt is just part of life. Debt is just way it is. Just listen to the slaves when they say that. Oh man, you always gonna have debt. Yeah, that's exactly how they want you to think. We need you, slaves. And when I hear slaves say that, I'm like, yeah, we need you. I'm not getting mad at them. If they're saying it, they're telling you what they believe. You don't get mad at slaves, because I want you to understand something. The economy, the US economy would not exist if slaves didn't exist. We need slaves. We need you to believe it's okay to keep student loans your whole entire life. We need you to believe that. Especially those slaves that believe they'll never pay off your student loans. They got you. You're in the bag. You ain't going nowhere. You ain't going nowhere. That's why they came up with uh, student loan forgiveness programs, because slaves will believe all that stupid. That's where slaves go. that have totally given up on ever paying off their student loans. That's where they go. So they sign up to work. They tell you where you're going to work, how long you're going to work, what you're going to do, and you better follow all the rules, slaves. Else we're going to kick you out of the program, you low down, dirty slave. And guess what they do? They sign up, and they don't promise them anything at the end. They don't promise them student loan forgiveness. You guys get that? They don't even. 99% of the people got denied last year of student loan forgiveness. And guess what slaves do? They sign up again. Why? Because they have given up on themselves. They have accepted being slaves until they're dead. And guess what else is going to happen? They're going to pass that same information on to their children. Hey, it's okay to keep your student loans all your life. I did it. And of course, the kids are going to look at their loved ones. Their loved ones, they love them. Mom, dad, uncle, sister, whatever. Those people love them. So they're going to say, that must be right, because the people that love me also have student loans older than me. Then it's okay. Exactly. And then it gets passed down through generations. That's how it works. It will says, LJ, I'm looking at my accounts and I have to double check to see if I paid all my monthly bills, utilities, water, insurance. I'm like, okay, this is all me right now. Money is that. And you know, so funny, it will. That's exactly what I used to think. When I first got out of debt and my checks was mine, I used to go through. My mind used to go, okay, El, would you forget to pay? There's nothing to pay. You guys don't even get it. Your money will stack so fast. You'll be like, damn. And then guess what? When you have money, guess what? No emergency will catch you by surprise. Why? Because you always have money. If your engine goes in your car, guess what? You're gonna have money to fix it the next day in the shop. Say like you had a major mechanical problem in your on your car, right? And then you take it to your favorite shop and you say, hey man, what's up with this? And then they run through and say, hey man, your engine blowing, it's gonna cost this. You know what you're gonna turn to them and say? How long is it gonna take you guys to fix it? You're not going to go, oh my God, it's going to be 5,000. And then when you turn to your mechanic, you say, how long it's going to take to fix? They're going to be like, damn, this dude got the money for it right now. Sure do. How many days it's going to take you to fix? I got the money now. And how much is it? How much is it if I pay cash? You guys have no idea how your world will change. Promise you. Kalo or Kalo? Kalo, I hope I said that right. Kalo. I have just over 10 years left on my mortgage, but other than that, I have no other debt. Walking down the road, my mindset is 90% clear. Did you finish saying something there? And this is what I want you to think too, Kalo. Add up the remainder of your mortgage, and then I want you to divide it by 10. And then I want you to say to yourself, whatever that amount is, can I pay more than that per year? How can I figure out how to pay? Because it won't be that much. If you got 10 years left and you divide it up by 10, you ask yourself, damn, that's not really that lot. That's not really that much. I could probably pay more than that. And you can get out of that faster than 10 years if you really want to. I promise you. You're welcome, Wiz, man. You know that. Gilbert says, how did you feel the last day of working? Well, first of all, there was no clocking out. I was on salary, right? But you know, it was nice. My coworkers gave me a little going away thing, and you know the weirdest thing though, this is the weirdest thing that happened to me at my last job, right when I quit. Now there was the biggest guy in the CIO, CFO, whoever, I don't know, he was of this particular department in the building, right? The day I was leaving, now I never hardly talked to him except hi or bye in the hallways, right? But the last day that I was going to quit, my last day there of my 2 weeks, he wanted to see me. It was the weirdest thing. I was like, they's like, hey man, so-and-so wants to see you before you leave. I was like, what? He wants to see me? He's like, yeah. So I go into the office. They were all, it was him and a whole bunch of other higher members having like damn near like a board meeting, right? And he invited me in there, and I sat me at the head of the table. I was like, what? So I'm looking at him. He's on the other side of the table while the other people are on the sides of the table, right? They're all kind of looking at me like, why is this dude sitting up there? I was asking the same question to myself. Why am I sitting here? And so the CFO was asked to say, "Oh, so LJ, you're leaving, and you good luck on your next job." I was like, I felt like saying, "Dude, you hardly even talked to me. Why am I even sitting here?" And so for the longest, that puzzled me, right? And I think to myself, and this is just my opinion, I believe that he had never seen a person do what I did. Because just before I left, I had applied for a different position in the company, right? A higher position that was going to take me to a manager. They denied me. So I put in my 2 weeks. I was like, okay, cool. You guys just told me that I'm not going to advance anymore here at this job. So I quit. I believe that he had never even seen anybody do that. Just quit because, not because of layoff, not because I hated my job, but the manager and I butted heads. No, I was quitting because I chose to quit. It was just the weirdest experience in my life, right? And then he said, "All right, man, good luck where you going." I was like, "Okay, thanks a lot, appreciate it." And then I left. Ollie Taylor says, notice that I won't be there for 2 weeks. Oh, math don't care. Sure don't. Math don't care. Dennis Rodriguez says, what do you say to people who say they're building equity through their mortgage? The kind that kind of makes sense to me as opposed to renting. Okay, so I'm gonna make this very simple for you, Dennis. Okay, that you cannot, is 100% mathematically impossible to own the equity in a house that you don't own. So remember this, okay, Dennis. The people, the people that bought the house couldn't bought the house without the bank's money. Okay, you ask that person, hey, how come you didn't buy the house cash? Because they didn't have the money. Right? That's the only way to buy a house is you go up to whoever's selling it and say, here's the cash for that house, period. And then you buy it. Anything outside of that is called financing. Okay. So you got to understand, slaves don't understand this. They don't know it's impossible to own the equity in a house that you don't own. Slaves don't know that they are renting from the bank. They just don't know they're renting from the bank. So when you hear people say, "Hey, you're throwing away money on rent," the first question this is what I want you to do. Anybody that comes up to you and says, "Stop throwing away your money on rent," this is what I want you to say to them. Do you have a mortgage? If they say yes, that's why they want you to get one, because they have one. You think if you come up to a person with no mortgage, you think they're going to suggest that you get one? No, they're not. No, they're not. Only slaves believe they're homeowners with mortgages. And then on top of that, they think because they sign a few papers, now they not only do they own the home, they own the equity in the home. Come on, man. Slaves be saying some of the weirdest things. Thank you for joining, Christian. Appreciate you. I hope you enjoy the content that's in there. Dennis, you know the difference between uh, uh, the homeless and people with mortgages? No. Do you know the difference between people with mortgages and the homeless? The homeless know they're not homeowners. That's the only that's the only difference between the two. They said student loan forgiveness gives people hope they can someday be debt free. Yeah, that's all it does, is give them hope. That's it. I get it. Margaret says, I actually like my job for the most part. We all need a purpose to create or contribute in some way, but I don't want to be trapped by the need to work to pay my debt and bill. And this is what, and for Margaret, I want to make sure I point this out too. I'm not saying don't have a job. Okay, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying to you guys, if you hate where you work, is because you're in debt. People that are not in debt work at places they like. People not in debt don't work at places they don't like. If you're debt free and you get a job and your boss is an asshole, you say, hey, if you keep talking to me like that, I'm going to quit. And then you just quit. You don't stay there. That's the difference. I'm not saying don't have a job. I'm just saying, when I say don't have a job, this is all I'm saying. It's impossible. It's mathematically impossible to own the time in your life because your job owns the majority of the time in your life. You can't do that. That's impossible. So that's all I'm saying. I'm set apart says, you're not retired unless you have only utility bills. Yeah, yeah, I guess. We don't buy new cars when they break. We get the car fixed. Exactly. Exactly. Somebody's car will break down. It'll be an $800 fix, and they'll go finance a $30,000 car. Oh man, that car was old anyway. Says who? Who says that? Kelly Blue Book? Who says that car is no good? Who says you got to get a new car at 100,000? Because I used to always hear that. Man, once your car reach $100,000, 100,000 miles, you need a new car. Says who? Who says that? You got to be looking around. When you hear these sayings, you got to ask yourself, who told you that? When somebody comes up to you and tells you a saying, you say, where did you hear that from? You are welcome. You're welcome. Ill Will says, plus with the pandemic, it's compounded savings. I'm not spending any money except for odds and ends around the house. My dry cleaners bill is zero. I'm working from home plus saving money on gas. Sure is, man. It's money just stacks. That's called phantom income. What's up, Mama Max? You were on parole. I ain't never been on no parole. Tell you that. Sharif says, L, if you would have gotten the promotion at your last job, do you think you would have quit? Now that's a good question too. And the answer is yes. And this is how I know the answer was yes. Okay. So when my last job, I was making $110,000. Not my last job, but the job of my last the job that I was at for years. Okay, this is what happened. The one I was given my 2 weeks, I was making $110,000 a year. Okay, just before I quit, T-Mobile reached out to me and offered me $160,000 a year. So I left the first job that I went for 2 weeks, gave my 2 weeks, right, and then I went to T-Mobile for a month. And I got a $50,000 a year raise. Never happened to me in my life, right? But the purpose of that was to show me that it didn't matter how much money I made because I worked the job was further away. I was in traffic more to get to this job, right? And I noticed I was started thinking about the time I was spending in my car to get to and from the job, me sitting in the office not really doing anything, right? Even though they was paying me this much money, I said to myself, this is not the place for me. And then I quit. And you know what happened? This is what happened when I was about to quit that job. I said sorry to the person because I was only there a month. I was like, hey man, I'm sorry I have to do this to you, but I got to quit. You know what they said to me? What's wrong? You need more money? I was like, what the do I need more money? That told me T-Mobile is making so much money that they could just pay me to sit there, $160,000 or maybe more, just to sit there and do what I needed to do. I was like, okay, there's something that I'm missing. I was missing a huge piece. So I quit. Again, same question. Hey man, what you gonna go do? I said, I don't know. And I left. So getting that promotion at that job wouldn't have satisfied what I was feeling inside. I had to leave. So the only way to access equity is to sell. Uh, yeah, if you financed it, yeah, that's the only way to act. The only way to get the equity. If you finance the house, the only way you're going to get it is sell it. Yes. And what that means is this: whatever's left over, which is going to be peanuts, the bank will toss that to you. Like, hey, here's what's left. We got all of our money out of it. You decided to sell. Okay, here's the peanuts left over. Here you go. Here's the scraps. Renting is way better. And what slaves don't know, renting from yourself is even better than regular renting. Renting from yourself. I'm not going to explain that though. What's up, Christian? Hi, guys. I'm brand new to the group and have been stalking this channel. Realized I'm a slave and filing Chapter 7 next week. Congratulations. Thanks for all you do. I will have $56,000 of student loan debt left. Man. Congratulations. Congratulations. Now, with all the other debt will be gone, you will have all your resources to knock out that $56,000 in student loan debt. That student loan debt will be gone so fast. Oh man, congratulations. Once you trade in an old car for a new expensive one, They even fix them and resell them for more. Sure do. They just fix them. They got a whole mechanic shop. They can just roll that car and say, "Hey, fix that little $800 problem," which is not $800 for them. It was just $800 for you. Now, here's the link. I want you guys to get up here and ask some questions. Maybe you got some. Maybe you're on your journey and you need some. You need some ideas. This is the time to ask. This time is for you guys. I bought a car. Oh no, excuse me. I'm not about a car. I bought for 109,000, only down to 90 after 5 years. Okay. Oh, okay. All right. The total value is now 190. Should I sell or continue for 25 more years? I bought for 109,000, only down to oh. It sounds like you got a subprime mortgage. The way what you're describing. So most definitely not for 25 years. You got to ask yourself, first of all, it doesn't take 30 years to pay off a house. If you go into financing a house for 30 years and you really believe it takes 30 years to pay off a house, to pay off one house, that's a problem. That's a psychological problem. Okay? That's a self value problem. You don't believe in yourself enough. So say like the house is $300,000, okay? Let's do it this way. Let me pull up my calculator so you guys can understand what I'm saying. Okay, let me do this. Say like you financing a house for $300,000. All right. Now, with a 30-year mortgage. All right. If you divide 300,000 by 30, that's $10,000 a year. So what you're saying is this: I don't believe I can pay more than $10,000 a year to pay off this house. That's what you're saying. So if you made, let's say you made $100,000, you got 90,000. I'm not, of course, I'm not including taxes taken. I'm keeping round numbers, right? That means $90,000. Well, what are you doing with that money? You don't realize that if you pay your listen, if you pay your house off, you guys, the slaves don't really understand this. You guys don't even get it. Your living expenses there is the largest monthly expense that you will have your entire life. You gotta live somewhere, so that means you got to pay either rent or mortgage, whatever you choose. But it's going to be the largest one. It's always the largest one, right? If you pay your house off, you have just eliminated the largest expense in your whole entire life for the rest of your life. You pay your house off, you have no rent or mortgage until you're dead. That's it. While millions of people are walking around calling themselves the homeowners, with trillions of dollars in mortgage debt. That's millions of people walking around calling themselves homeowners, millions of slaves, right? And you will really be one. While they don't know, you will know. You'll be so free. Imagine your life with no debt, not even mortgage or rent. Imagine how fast your money would stack. Can you imagine? Oh man, your head would spin. You wouldn't need to invest in the stock market. You wouldn't need to. And I mean, if you choose to, because you would invest differently, right? Because you got to think about it this way too. If 85% of Americans are in debt, that means they have no money. So what's the percentage of those 85% of people in debt that are investing in the stock market with money that doesn't exist? They don't know they're investing with money that doesn't exist. Whose money do you think that is? That's the bank's money. They're borrowing money to invest because they have no money to invest in themselves. So they're borrowing money at a percentage rate, right? To investing, and then they think they're going to come back with earning percentage rates with money they invest. No, that's not true. None of that is true. Imagine how many portfolios out there that people are showing other people that don't even exist. They're not even real. You don't know that when you're in the debt matrix. A paid off house is not if the one of the most best investments that you could ever make in your life. Crazy, man. Enigma says, making $160,000 a year, I'd save and invest 70%, and in 5 years, I'd quit. Yeah, I got. You know what? I don't know what to. I don't know how to explain that part to you. My purpose of getting that type of promotion, that type of money, it was to show me that the money no longer mattered. That's me personally. Okay. Now, when if you've never made $160,000 a year, that sounds like a lot of money. I get it. I totally get it. But it's not. That's not a lot of money. That's the put it this way. You see Jeff Bezos, you see him making what? He's almost at a trillion. What do you think Jeff Bezos how he looks at $160,000? He's probably got that in the ashtray of his car. Hey L, go grab your salary. It's in the ashtray of my car. Hey Jeff, I said it's $160,000. Yeah, I know what you said. Yeah, it's in the ashtray of my car. Go grab that. That's your salary. Now get to work. You happy with that? Yeah. All right, get your ass to work. Now you're probably thinking, well, that's Jeff Bezos. Who you think he's an alien or something? Who is he? He's a regular person like you and me. The only difference between you and Jeff Bezos believes in mathematics and you don't. That's it. It's nothing special. He had a, he knew about he's not in debt and he had an idea and he brought it to fruition. No different than me creating SMD. Those darn loan modifications over the years. Exactly. All that stuff. Get out of that nonsense. Get out of it. Get out of it. Especially if you have a subprime mortgage, get out of it. Right now, if you are put it this way. If you've refinanced your house and you are basically upside down in a subprime mortgage right now, get out of it. Right now is the time to get out from it. Right now is the time. Sell. If you have a subprime mortgage, sell it. This is why. Subprime mortgages are for slaves. Okay. Only a slave would accept a subprime mortgage. What are subprime mortgages? FHA mortgages, VA mortgages, interest only mortgages, all that stupid nonsense. That's for slaves. If you walk into the bank and you have a student loan that's older than your children, they're going to automatically offer you a subprime mortgage. Why? Because you don't know that you're never going to own a home ever. I'm sell I'm selling house, taking profit, and getting mobile home with profit. Hey, do that. Johnny Blaze says a paid off home makes the real me. It sure does. That hey, you pay off your house, you'll be a millionaire by default. Without even thinking. You won't even have to think about it. It's no debt and a paid off house, you will become a millionaire by default. I heard Jeff Bezos pays himself $80,000 a year. Yeah, who knows? Who knows what he does? He can do anything he wants. And he's probably only doing that for tax reasons. When you guys got to understand something. When you get out of debt, you will understand that money doesn't exist. It really does. It doesn't exist it's for slaves. It doesn't exist for slaves. Money doesn't exist in any form. So when you hear millionaire, billionaire, trillionaire, I want you to understand something. Those are just words. Okay. Don't think he has $1 trillion in cash at his house. It doesn't work like that. Only slaves are impressed by words when you tag them to money. Because slaves use words with money. They call things assets, what's a liability. And if you don't know about money, you'll take their word for what it. But to slaves, those words mean different things. There's only one meaning for the word asset. There's only one meaning for the word liabilities, but slaves have multiple meanings. So Walt, LJ, I remember my aunt and her husband looked at our moderate house and their new cars and finance house, but it couldn't afford to go out to dinner that night. They took out multiple loans. Wow. It's crazy. I put a meme up there earlier. I said, somebody with a big house with a matching mortgage would look down upon a person with a living in a paid off mobile home. They sure will. They'll look, hey man, I couldn't live in nothing like that. There's no way. I know you couldn't because you're a slave. You're a slave in a big house. Exactly. When you're the owner, you can pay yourself whatever. I believe he absolutely does it for tax. They all do it for tax reasons. It You guys, okay, this is the investment that you there's only one guaranteed ROI. There's only one. That's taxes. Taxes are guaranteed. When you look at the stock market, when you're a slave, you don't really understand the stock market is just gambling. You might as well go to the casino. It's the exact same thing. Taxes are the only guaranteed ROI. The reason why you slaves can't see it, you're mathematically blind. You can't see it. Not even a bank loan. I mean, those places down the street with exorbitant interest rates. They took out multiple loans. Not even a bank loan. Oh, those places. Oh God. Oh yes. Subprime lenders. Dennis says, "What does a good mortgage look like?" Good question. You coming up with some good questions, Dennis. This is what a good mortgage looks like. Okay. You walk into the biggest bank in your city, the largest one, the building that reaches to the clouds, that one. Okay. You walk into that bank and you say, "Hey, what is your top best rate mortgage that you guys have to offer in this building?" That's what you do. That's what you, because you say, "I'm not going to accept anything less. Which one do you have?" That's the one you want, Dennis. The bank is going to go, "Oh, you want that one?" You're going to say, "Yeah, I want that one." They're going to say, "Okay, here's the requirements for that type of loan." Then they're going to hand them to you. And then once they hand it to you, go down that list. If you meet the criteria, if you meet the requirements on that list, congratulations, you got the best mortgage in the United States of America, because you don't accept anything less than the best mortgage in the United States of America. Congratulations, you want. But if you don't meet the requirements, you walk out the bank and you don't come back until you do. Okay, that's it. That's what it looks like. Dave says, "Walt Gold, man, that's more common than we realize." Oh yeah, for sure. What's up, Christian? Thankful for my boyfriend. I don't have to pay any bills, so I'm on a mission now. Wow. So are you on a mission to pay off your debt since your boyfriend is paying for your bills? I mean, and I'm not definitely not hating on that, because I hate it when I see a relationship when one is paying the other's bills and then the other person is spending all the money like crazy. But if you're taking advantage of the situation, congratulations. Stock market has no feelings. It will take your money by giving you short-term leverage. Stock market is Vegas. Okay. There's people with money, like slaves. You guys can't see the people with money that are in the stock market. You guys can't see it. You're mathematically blind. So you're going to believe whatever you see on that. Whatever you see on the computer screen or whatever you see on the TV scrolling along the bottom, you hear these fancy people talking. You think because they got glasses and a nice suit on, they must know what they're talking about. That doesn't mean anything. All of that is an illusion. Good mortgage equal no mortgage. Yeah. But I'm just saying, if you're young, right? It doesn't matter the age, but the younger you are, you probably have to start out with a mortgage. All I'm saying is this: the only mortgage you get is the best one in the United States of America and nothing less. That's the one you want. People buy stocks with margin. They don't even own their stocks. I know. Look at that. When I first found out, people buy stocks with margin, aka borrowed money. That blew me away. I was like, wait a minute. Investing means you must have extra money to invest. That means you have no, but people are borrowing money to invest and they're giving advice. People borrowing money to invest in the stock market are giving people advice on how to invest in the stock market. Does that make any sense? That doesn't make any sense. Walgo says, LJ, what I don't get is why this subject isn't mainstream. It's common sense, but not. Good question, Walt. And this is why we need slaves. This is by design. Okay. The economy, I always try to reiterate this. The economy would not and could not exist without slaves. Like I just posted this the other day. Let's go to the housing market so you can understand. The housing market wouldn't exist if slaves didn't exist. 37% of houses are owned in the whole stock market. Only 30% are without mortgage. That means 63% of the housing market is with mortgages. If they didn't give mortgages to slaves, the housing market would crash. It wouldn't. If they kicked everybody out of their house with a mortgage, the housing market would instantly crash. If they didn't give people mortgages, the housing market wouldn't even exist. So when you get out of debt, you will see a housing market for slaves. Like the slaves in debt, they think the housing market is hot and they're selling, and no, that's slavery. Those are slaves. You get out of debt, you'll see the real housing market. You will know that if you're part of the 37% that don't have a mortgage on your house, that means you have 63% of options of where to buy a house that you choose. Because all those people, all you gotta do is wait for a divorce, a breakup, or job loss, or there's a million reasons that's gonna kick them. And then the slave is gonna be like, oh my God, I lost my house because of this. No, you lost your house because of you. Nothing outside of you. You didn't even have the money. The reason why you're making mortgage payments because you couldn't afford the house. That's why you're making payments. This is why, Walt, it must be that way. We must have slaves. They must exist. There would be no us without slaves. Stephen says, going to a birthday party for my granddaughter. Will be wearing the SMD shirt. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Let me know what happens. I'm curious to see if anybody even asks you a question. I hate one-sided relationship. Exactly. No, I wouldn't even allow that. But I'm learning a lot, and like I said, and I've been telling the members only. I've been. There's a video that I'm gonna make in the members only, and I know I said I was gonna do it today, but I'm still. I do. So if you guys join the members only, I want you guys to understand. I make videos over there when I feel a certain way. Okay, and so this particular one, I need to be alone to speak it. Okay, so that's all I'm waiting on. That's why I haven't made it yet. The world is trapped in the debt matrix they can't see. No, they're mathematically blind. They're not trapped. Now, this is what's going to help you not feel bad for slaves. They're choosing to stay there. They're choosing to be there by not trusting mathematics. That's all. That's the only reason why they're in the debt matrix. Then it says, I remember you mentioned a tax book. Do you recommend any? I did what Robert Kiyosaki's tax advisor. Well, that's what Robert said he is. I'm sorry I don't have the book in front of me, but I only suggest reading it once you're debt free. Don't read it before you're debt free. Okay, only read it when you're debt free. Then you'll understand it. America owns China owes China 3 trillion. Yeah, that's what they say. When I hear things like that, like the national debt or how much USA owes somebody, I think to myself, what's that got to do with me? What's the And honestly, I think they throw numbers out there, and this is just my opinion. The average person in debt that can't even pay their student loan debt, they're paying off 3 trillion. They kind of hear that number like, whatever. It doesn't mean anything. Walt says good analogy would be without the darkness of space, you wouldn't be able to see the stars. Yeah, that's true. That is very true. I like that analogy. Without the darkness of space, you wouldn't be able to see the stars shine brightly. Wow, I like that. And when I say I shine more bright, I mean, I know the gift that I have. What I know is what I have or learned or received from the universe is a gift. Something so simple, millions can't even see it. That's a gift. That's a total gift. And that's not even saying anything to brag, because everything I'm saying that I can prove. And I always tell people, I do this a lot of community writing, right? This is what I imagine myself I'm going to do when I get up on the stage. When I get up on the stage in front of thousands of people, this is what I plan to do to help people understand. This is what I'm gonna tell. I'm gonna tell everybody to raise. I'm gonna tell the audience, all of you raise your hand that you're homeowners. All the homeowners raise your hand. Then they're gonna raise their hand. This is what I've been picturing in my brain, right? And then I'm gonna say, all of you with no mortgage, put your hand down. And then a sprinkle of people throughout the audience is going to put their hand down. And those are with their hands still up. You know what I'm saying? Why'd you put your hand up in the first place? I just proved to you you're not homeowners. Why is your hand up? And it's going to make them think. They're going to be like, damn, why is my hand up? I just shown you that you're not. The people with no mortgages put their hand down. Math says there can only be one homeowner, people with no mortgage. And then the people with their hands up, a few of them maybe will click. The other will just disagree. The majority will say, oh, well, I'm still a homeowner. My name is on the title. They just have a lien on it. Whatever, slave, whatever you believe. Man, I don't even like to pay my my bills. I'm damn sure not paying somebody else's. Sure ain't. Take the red pill. China uses debt to control countries like Kenya and Jamaica. Yeah. People, what I want you guys to understand, debt controls people who are in debt. If you're not in debt, debt can't control you. Right? It just that's just is the way it is. Stay out of debt and you don't have to worry about anybody controlling you. Now, don't get me wrong. Once you get out of debt, there's still rules. Okay. There's still rules. There's just a different set of rules. You'll put it this way. Once you get out of debt, you'll know never to cheat on your taxes. All right. You'll know never to hide money. You won't you won't rip people off. You won't scam people. You won't, because people that do that, they do that because they're in debt. They have no money. That's why they do. That's why they're taking money from other people, because they have no money themselves. When you have money, you have no desire to steal it from other people. You will understand that the tax system is the backbone of the whole economy. Once you get out, you're like, oh, that's why taxes are in place. Yeah, that's the reason. That's why you can go to prison for tax evasion. People in debt, they don't really know why you go to prison for tax evasion. They just go, oh man, you hide money and this and that, and you can go get prison time, right? But they don't stop and think, wait a minute, I didn't kill anybody. I get 10 years for hiding money. You don't stop and think that's just paper, right? Once you get out of debt, you're like, oh, that's why you can go to prison. Because if that didn't exist, people wouldn't participate. Everybody must participate for it to work. How do you make people participate? You go to prison. Instead of just trying to work, instead of using your brain on how to try to skirt the system and hide money and this and that, take the time to understand it. Once you take the time to understand it, you're like, oh crap. And then once you get out of debt, guess what? Guess who pays your taxes? Your customers do. You create a successful business, and whatever taxes you pay, you don't pay them personally. Your your customers will pay your taxes. And people think they are woke, but are blind mathematically. Yes, true. I'm about to look for a slave to take over my mortgage. That's what you got to do. I mean, again, if it counts on what type of mortgage you got. If you got a subprime mortgage, don't do that. Just get rid of it. Sell it. You'll never catch up, even with a renter in there. Don't fall for that. If you ain't got the best, if you have a subprime mortgage, get out of that right now. And right now, why the market is hot, right now is the time to sell. Slaves are buying financing houses like hotcakes right now. I just got a new car a month ago. It's a 2002 and drives like new. You better believe it. My truck's a 1995 and it drives like new. LJ, I want to hear that live from your post you made this week about mate success. Oh yeah, that's the next one. That's what I'm talking about. But what I'm saying is that what I want to say, I have to be alone in the house. Let's just put it that way, because it's the truth. And I want you guys to understand, I live by example, no matter what. And what I say is the truth, and I do what I say. I promise you that. I do what I say. Any questions? Honestly, this channel is more of a outlet at a certain level. I talk at a certain now. I want you guys to understand on this free side, I talk at a certain level that you guys can understand. In the members only, I talk at a different level. Okay, it's totally different level. Things I say over there would not make sense to you over here. What I talk about, I'm never wrong ever. I'm always right when it comes to finances. I'm always right. I'm never wrong. How many people you know that can claim that on YouTube? How many people can say that? Oh man, this dude. You probably thinking, oh, that's just his ego talking. No, everything I'm saying I can prove. I'm never wrong ever. Thank you, Nicer. The private group is called Life North of Zero. People that have done what it takes to get on the other side of zero. Oh, and it takes some balls, man. It takes some. You got to ignore society. You're gonna have to ignore your family. You're gonna have to ignore everybody. What did you say? I think you said get a business to pay property taxes. Yeah. Yeah, I'm saying if you create a business to pay your taxes, your your customers are going to pay your taxes, not you personally. Like people that pay mortgages, they usually have a job, right? And in order to pay their taxes, they have to go to work. So they get paid a certain amount for an hour, and then they take the money that they earned with the time in their life and pay their taxes. You get out of that and create a successful business. The taxes that you're going to be paying are from the business, from customers that they whatever they did to get the money to buy your product or whatever, right? And then you're going to take that money because you didn't actually work hour for hour to get that money. Got it? Right. And here's another thing too. This is what I've learned since being on my own too. People, the majority of people get out, try to start a business and try to earn money, right? Their main focus is to earn a lot of money, right? I've learned the main focus is to earn people's trust. You earn people's trust, they will give you the money. There's nothing like spending your money, like you click buy to a certain product and can walk away without a thought of being a scam or somebody's trying to rip you off. People don't really understand the relief of that. Like this is why Amazon is so successful. When you go and click on Amazon, do you think, oh man, this Amazon.com is a scammer website? Does that ever cross your mind? No, you just go in there, click, 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 buy, 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 boom. This is gonna be here, and they send you notices. Your package is on the way. They always give that's called trust. That's how you earn people's trust. So that's how I know. So I got out here. Now I'm debt free. The main objective wasn't money. It was to earn people's trust. Did I know that from the beginning? No, I didn't know that right away. But I know that now. It's trust. Everything in my house worth like 2,000. Going to sell everything, then the house, and then my new life will begin. Congratulations. Again, especially if you have a subprime mortgage. Yeah, get out of that. Right now is the time to get out of it too. COVID-19, I can't do it. Lost my job, whatever, legally, everything legal. No scams, no tricking, no lying to the bank, no fudging numbers, no doing none of that. You do everything legally. Trust me, when you get out of debt, you will be able to see why that is because you got to understand something. Let's put it this way. Let's go back to taxes because I want you guys to understand how this works, okay? The reason why you can go to prison is because if they didn't force people to participate, nobody would participate. Slaves, they have no money. They have no money. They always blame taxes. That they believe taxes are the reason they're keeping them down and all this other stuff. That's not true. It's themselves. It would not work if it wasn't in place. You think I saw that when I was in debt? I ain't seen none of that. You think I would have ever guessed that you could legally not pay taxes? You could legally not pay taxes legally. Try to tell that to a slave. Hey, you can legally not pay taxes, right? They will have no idea what you're saying because they're mathematically blind. They can't see it. You can't if you've been in debt all your life, you can't see what I'm telling you. Millions of people try to lie and skip on their taxes. Millions do tax evasion every day. IRS agents get practice every single day from slaves trying to cheat on their taxes. This is the pattern that slaves don't know they have. Let me tell you guys, if this is you and you're a person out there cheating on your taxes right now, okay? Let me tell you something. You're easy to see because slaves don't trust mathematics. And and here's your pattern. Slaves don't trust mathematics, and you guys don't even know you don't trust mathematics. Nothing you do will make mathematical sense. That's why they can see you. Do you understand? You're obvious, and you guys all do the same thing. You just do it very different ways. Hey, I'm gonna try this shell company, and you watch TV and you think it's like that. No, none of that will make mathematical sense, and that's how they get you. You guys don't know that though. They get practice every single day from people doing tax evasion every day. They get practice every day. Why don't you be the small percentage that follow the rules? That's it. They can see you too. If you follow the rules, you think an IRS agent, you think audits are really random? No, they're not. They're for slaves. You think IRS agents are going to go randomly audit somebody that's clearly following the rules? No, they're not. That would be a complete waste of time when they got millions to follow up on. Thank you, Nicer. I just bought new tires in the yard. I just bought new tires in the yard and fixed the grass this past summer, adding curb appeal to find some new slave owners. Congratulations, man. Do what you need to do to sell that bad boy. Do it. I'm no longer fixing up this house for the bank. Don't, man. Get out of that. Get out of it. Dave says, just like those guys we talked about last week who made this rap video, I got rich off EDD committing California unemployment fraud. I was playing that song early. So crazy. Only a slave would commit fraud and then brag about it. I guarantee you, this is what you slaves don't really get. Before they hand out that money, they know people are going to fraud. They know you guys are going to lie and scheme on. That's already in place. That mechanism is already in place. All they have to do is the people that are applying, all they got to do is just look at your personal credit report. They pretty much know who's going to fraud. They know who's going to lie. And then they give you enough rope to hang yourself. They let you go so deep in there because you believe the money is real and they're never going to catch you. I don't know what scammers, how they think they think it's never going to come to. And I have no idea what they think. But then one day when they catch you, they're going to own you. You guys don't even get that. Money is not even real. Once they catch you, now they're going to own you because they're going to bury you in fines and penalties, and you got to pay all that money back that you spent. That's probably when you scam that much money, you probably never had that much money in your life. And then when they catch you, they're going to bury you. And then you're going to be a slave until you're dead because you won't be able to file bankruptcy. I guarantee you won't be able to file bankruptcy on penalties and fees from the IRS. No, you're not. And then they're going to charge you a percentage rate on top of that. Penalties, fees, and interest rate on the money you got to pay back. Now you're a slave for life. That's a trap. Don't you know that's a trap? That's just a big piece of bait on a hook. And then the slaves go for it and then they just bury themselves. And when you check this out, it all connects. All right. If you're stealing money, right? If you're scamming and stealing money, you can't claim it on your taxes. You can't claim that money on your taxes. You're stealing it. And guess what? Now you're going to be on top of that. Now you're going to be fined for tax evasion. It goes hand in hand. You can't get around it. Penalties, fees, tax evasion, and interest on top of that. You're going to be a slave until you're dead. Congratulations for some listen, for some green pieces of paper that don't even exist. Don't even exist. Do you guys get it, slaves? Money doesn't exist for you. Not even the money that you have in your pocket. This is what I want you to do, okay? So you guys can understand this. Take the money in your pocket, whatever it is, it doesn't matter the amount. The money in your pocket minus your car loan balance equals how much money you have in your pocket. How much money do you have in your pocket? Now let me do it one more time. The money in your pocket minus your student loan balance. Let's go student loan balance. Minus your student loan balance equals how much money you have in your pocket. How much money do you have in your pocket? Right? It doesn't exist. Those of you slaves that believe you have equity while having a mortgage, this is what I want you to do, okay? I want you to go your mortgage payment minus your mortgage balance equals your equity. Let's do that one more time. Your mortgage payment minus your mortgage balance equals your equity. How much equity do you have? Because it's real. That's your equity. You're probably thinking, LJ, that's in the negative. Exactly. Nothing. Money laundering and the Ozark show will get you locked. The show will. Now, Ozark, I like that show. That show was good. But as a debt-free person, I watch it totally different. I watch it totally different. I know shows like that, it's purpose. Because imagine this, because I remember when I used to watch watching that show while you're in debt versus watching that show when you're out of debt, right? When I was in debt, they always, have you noticed, they always show large amounts of money. And then whenever when they pay somebody off, they put it in a particular envelope. So when you hear the crunchy sound of this particular envelope, you know it's full of cash, right? They buy people. They have all this money to buy people. Only people will sell their soul for money. They show bags of money because people in debt will see that money and subconsciously they like, damn, if I had that much money, man, I could pay off everything in my life. And then some people take it to the next step and say, "Oh, I'm gonna do it for real." And they don't know they're trading the time in their life. Something that's not even, you can't even put a value on the time in your life, and you're gonna risk it for money. No, sir. When I watch shows like the Ozark. I look at, you know how I look at it? Like a TV show. Those are actors. None of those. That's not a big drug dealer. That money's not real. That's props. That's how I look at it. Everybody's acting. I'm not leeching, y'all. He was offended when I offered to help pay bills. I think he saw how stressed I was. Oh, you guys must be talking about something else. I'm not sure what that is. Or did I read something earlier? Probably did. Equal, exactly. See what I'm saying? That's your equity in your house right now. That's your exact amount of equity. Now, you guys, now when I say this, when I say slaves are mathematically blind, I want you to go to one of your friends that believe they're a homeowner with a mortgage, right? I want you to take this. I want you to go to your friend and say, "Hey, man, if you do your mortgage payment minus your mortgage balance equal equity, tell them and say this. That's your real equity." They won't. They won't even understand what you mean. They'll tell you that's not true. And then when they tell you that's not true, this is what I want you to say to them. But is my math right that I'm telling you? Make them say it. Make them say yes. Make them say yes. And then you know what they're going to say to you? Oh, no, man, it's much more complicated than that. That's not true. And then when they say that's not true, and then you ask them, say, well, who told you it's true? They're going to tell you the bank told them. The bank said it's true. The bank said I own the equity in this house. Of course they did. When I hear channels talking about, oh man, we get back at the bank and the bank don't care about you. When you come across these channels, when they say things like this, the bank don't care about you. The bank is out for themselves. They only about you. Well, yeah, the bank's a business. What are you talking about caring for? I don't get that part. When it's about the bank, it's about mathematics. Why do you think? First of all, why do you think the bank cares about you? You're a customer. Period. Now, don't get me wrong. You care about the service that they provide you. Don't get me wrong with that. But other than that, it's business. It's business. I'm not arguing with sleeping slaves. I'm here to learn. Nope. I don't argue with, arguing with a slave is like arguing with mathematics. It's like if you told a slave, hey, 1 + 1 = 2, and they go, oh, no, it's not, man. That's not true. And then you start arguing with them. Yes, it is, man. That's what it sounds like when you argue with a slave. You're arguing with a slave that don't trust mathematics, because it's not even a belief. Sometimes I always make sure I correct myself. You don't argue with slaves that don't believe. Math is not a belief. Math is an exact science. What's up, Dark Man? I'm here to change people's lives. I don't. What's weird to me? I gotta tell you guys, this is weird to me. I don't know why people are shy to come up on the panel and ask questions or talk or whatever. That just blows my. But then I go to these other channels that talk about gossip and relationships and the high value. I mean, they got thousands of people in the live just talking about. And I'm just like, man. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not jealous of it, okay? Because I understand why that is. When you go to channels like that, that's a bunch of lost people. They're looking for answers, so they're looking to this one person for an answer that they can only find in themselves. They don't know that though, right? So I get it. Don't get me wrong. I totally get it. But I want you guys that follow this channel, I want you to see the opposite of it. That's how much room it is over here for growth. There's really no competition. Nobody's really competing over here. Over here, people help one another. You come over here, everybody wants to help everybody succeed in whatever they're trying to do. I promise you that's how it works. They want you to be rich. They want you to be wealthy, because if they help you, they help themselves. That's how it works. Dark Man says, I was in a wreck last month and my vehicle was totaled, just waiting and saving up for a nice cash car. Oh yeah. I'm glad you're safe. First of all, Dark Man. Second of all, you're in the right market. Right now is the time to buy a car in cash. Why? Because millions of slaves are out of work. Millions. Folks in the ear telling me to get a new car off the lot. Yeah. What's up, Mama Max? How you doing?
Hey, how you doing? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Thanks for jumping on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I want to say people do not want to jump on because they are intimidated.
I guess
I'm just keeping
I
it
could see
real,
that.
real.
Go ahead.
I said I'm just keeping it real. People are intimidated when it comes to finance, and they might feel that you might down them.
I mean, I get it. I get that, and I understand why, and I understand because the way I talk and the way I sound.
Mhm.
But it's just those of you guys that know, you guys just know I'm speaking mathematics. I'm not really saying anything fancy, right? You understand what I'm saying.
Right, I do understand. I do
Mhm.
understand. But let me tell you something. Remember I told you before, yeah, I'm out of debt. Well, let me tell you, after speaking to you, I realize I'm not. And I say that because I still have my mortgage.
Right, right,
You
right.
know, because remember I was doing the Dave Ramsey way.
Mhm.
So I was believing, yeah, I'm out of debt. Well, I'm gonna also say that the siding of my house need to be done, so I took out a loan. So yeah, I'm a slave. However, the project did not get started yet, and I have already gone through, some of the mathematics because my plan is to pay it off within 2 years and not just make the minimum payments as far as, doing the siding. And after I do that, then I'm going to attack the mortgage
Mm-hmm,
and
mm-hmm,
get rid of that. So
mm-hmm.
I just want to put that out there that I know I am a conscious slave.
Yes. And you know what's so crazy? And I get that. And what you're doing, and because that's your only debt. So you really stand out right
Yes.
there. That alone makes you stand out from millions of people anyway, right? So your version of getting a loan for the siding for the house is different than people in debt getting a loan for hiding, the siding for the house. It's different, right?
Mm-hmm.
You already know that your plan is to eliminate that housing debt. And then once that's
Yes.
gone, you will be free. You'll be ahead of me because I don't own where I live, right? I rent. So I'm still a 1% slave because I don't own where I live.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm with you. You're just 1% because you have no debt and you have a mortgage, right? That's it.
Right. Right.
Once that gone,
Yeah.
you'll be 100% free because nobody will, no, you don't owe anybody, period. That's freedom.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you guys something. Home home ownership is not all what it cracks up to be. And I repeat that again. Home ownership is not all that it cracks up to be. I had a conversation with my neighbor. I live in Tampa, Florida, and where I live, we live in older homes. My home is a 1961 home. And my neighbor, he's still paying on his home. He only owes, let's say, $100 a month. He told me his mortgage is less than 10 grand, and he wants to take 3 years to pay it off, right? All this craziness. But I'm not telling him nothing, whatever. Now, he told me he talked to the insurance because he wanted to, get better insurance for his house. He has a small house. You know what they told him?
What I tell
They're telling him because they're looking at, I guess they can see the plans of your house and what year it is. They're
them?
telling him he needs to get better plumbing. So they want him to redo the plumbing of his house. Do you know how much that costs? That costs a whole lot of money. So they're telling him in order for him to get insurance
Mm-hmm.
through them,
Mm-hmm.
and he told me other insurance told him that too. They want him to go into deeper debt by fixing his plumbing. Now, nothing is wrong with this plumbing. It's just that it's older.
Mm.
Yes. So
Why
I
does he have to
want
switch
people.
insurance? Because he got insurance now, don't he? Why does he have to switch?
I don't know. I hate
Wow.
to say it. His English is very.
Gotcha.
He has
Okay.
a hard accent. Because he's a Latino.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he just wanted better insurance because the insurance he has now is not the greatest.
Mm.
So he was just looking. You
Gotcha.
see what I'm saying?
I mean,
Yeah.
it's their
But that's
rules.
how these insurance, I'm telling you, that's how these people are. Let me give you another example.
Mm-hmm.
I about 6 years ago, I, wanted to get new AC because my AC was out, right? So I had my AC in the attic, and it's hard, to reach up there. You need, the guy got to go up there. Well, they told me, and this is another thing you guys need to know when you have a home. Every year or every couple of years, they change the regulations with your home, right? So this is a 1961 house.
I'm gonna let
So
you do it for a minute, Mama Max. I'm gonna let you do it for a minute. I gotta take a break for a second. Go ahead.
okay,
You got the mic.
okay. I want you guys to know that when you get a house, they always want you to update, and you never know that you have to do all this update until you want to, what's the word, renovate your house or something of that matter. So when they were going up in the attic, they were telling me, oh, you don't have a light. You don't have this and that. The regulations have changed over the years. So instead of me just paying for them to putting a new AC, they want me to pay all this extra money to put in a light, to put in a board, to make sure the guys who go up there will be safe, all this stuff. It wasn't that way when I bought the house, but this is what they do. Okay. They told my neighbor, oh, when they put in his AC, oh, the electrical panel, uh, guess what? It's old. You need to replace that. To replace that, that's about $6,000, guys. All right. He told them to kiss his ass. He's not replacing it. His home is smaller than mine. Okay. So I'm just letting you guys know that guess what? Even after you pay off your home, they're still trying to gyp you. Right? You want to do some renovations, the city will come up with ways that, oh, we've made these changes. So as of 2000 and I don't know, 20, you have to do this and you have to do that in order to have this. So instead of paying $6,000 for the AC or whatever, now you got to pay an extra $6,000 to get such and such done. So,
Mm, mm.
yeah. So it's not just easy as, okay, you pay off the house and you just pay your insurance. Any new upgrade you want to do, there's certain specifications that they have, and they keep changing it. And you do not know until you get the professionals up in there, and then they tell you about these changes. It's a ripoff.
You know what's so funny though? This is once I get to that point, when I have it, you got to remember everybody that's trying to sell you something, they're going to either
Mm-hmm.
be in debt or they're not going to be in debt. So if somebody came up to me, offered me insurance from a company or whoever the salesman is, right?
Mm-hmm.
First, I'm going to determine the reason why he's selling to me, right? If he's he or she, if they're deep in debt, they're going to most likely try to sell you stuff that you don't need so they can make more commission, right? So because
Right.
so when I speak to them, I'm gonna determine if they're speaking debt to me. All right,
Mm-hmm.
that'll help me determine who's doing this for money or who's doing this to literally help you.
I hear what you're saying, but LJ, I'm saying even if you're debt free and you have your home, you
Hmm.
always have to have extra money
Yeah, you'll
because
always have
it's
extra money.
never, yeah, because it's never like, okay, put in a new AC. Okay, you have to put in a new AC
Hmm.
unless you have a brand new home. Let's say you pay the cash or maybe just 5 years
Hmm.
and the regulations have not changed. The regulations, I believe, is set by the city
Hmm.
or maybe the state.
Hmm.
You see what I mean?
I do.
So so they're in cahoots with the AC company and all that. It's all money. It's all money.
I know. I
That's
understand.
that's yeah, that's my point.
Hmm.
So if I knew then what I knew now, when I have a home, I would have got it another way. I would have got it like how you suggest,
Hmm.
become totally debt free,
Hmm.
save up your money,
Hmm.
and look at these foreclosures.
Yes.
I didn't
Hmm.
have anyone. I'm around the same age as you are.
Hmm.
I didn't have anyone to tell me anything or
Me
whatever. I
neither.
had to learn on my own.
Me too. Sure did. I
Yeah,
same
but
way.
it's a beautiful thing that you are telling people because I try to tell folks at my job,
How'd
and
that
they're
go?
not
How did that go?
listening. They didn't listen. I try to tell them from the mistakes I've made, and they don't want to
You
listen. I
started
said,
did
look,
you start eating at the lunch table by yourself?
say again.
Were you when you started talking to them, did you end up eating at lunch by yourself at the table? They started avoiding you?
Man, oh, well, they all think I'm strange, but
Exactly. They look at you like a what? An alien. See?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but you know what? Um, when this whole COVID mess came up, because I'm a medical technologist,
Okay.
And what we do, we test body fluid. So,
Okay.
the whole COVID mess, that guess who's testing it, right? So I didn't like the whole deal they did. So guess what? After I powwow with the folks there, and I told them, I said, I'll tell you what, I'm being generous. I'm giving you 7 weeks. I'm leaving.
Mm.
Yeah, and everybody was like, "Where you going?" I said, "I'm going to sit on my black ass and look at the wall."
They probably looked at you like, what?
Yeah, they did. They really did. And I told them, I said, "Remember, I told you about Dave Ramsey?"
Mm.
I said, "You think I'm kidding with you?"
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. They don't
And
get
at
it.
the time, all I have is my mortgage. I mean, like I said, this project with the siding didn't even exist at the time, because this was back in uh, July, and then
Mm-hmm.
I left the end of August,
Mm-hmm.
and they all were like tripping, even the nurses who make more money than I do. I said, I am going to sit on my black ass,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
They probably like, oh,
and
she's just a bum. She just don't do nothing. I can only imagine the thoughts in their head when you said that.
yeah, they looked at me like I was nuts.
Mm-hmm.
But I do
Mm-hmm.
not feel like being exposed even more to this virus. Okay,
Right.
because
You have the
they're not
option to do that.
right, right.
Mm-hmm.
Now I have the director that was there, she left and she's someplace else. So she asked me to come on board before I left. So I'm like, okay, but it's PRN. PRN means per diem, when I want to. So I'm still training. She told
Okay.
me there is no COVID testing. Now
Okay.
I'm finding out, oh, there will be doing COVID testing. But
Mm.
guess whose black ass won't be doing it? Because I will tell her, didn't you not tell me I won't have to do this? It won't be
Right.
here.
Right.
So they start anything, I'm going to say ta-ta.
Yeah. See ya. See ya. That's so empowering too, to be able to do that. You know how many people
It's
wish
an
they could do
orgasm.
that?
It's
it,
an
it is.
orgasm.
It is. It is. It is. That's the best. That's a good way to describe it. It is just amazing to be able to do that. It's so empowering, man. Oh my God.
It is. It's
Mm-hmm.
an orgasm. And
Mm-hmm.
I just give credence to God and that's my head, because I
Mm-hmm.
chose the field that I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
They're running me down, to do traveling lab tech, or, this place and that place, because there's so much work,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Wow.
So, but the thing is, I don't want to deal with that COVID. I'm in Florida. It is going up,
Mm. Mm.
you know.
It's
So
going up more than in
why would
Florida?
I want to be in a hospital and expose myself to all this? I have double the exposure
Yeah.
that most
Yeah.
people have. And
Yeah.
you're not willing to pay my black ass?
Mm.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, no, no.
There's not even enough
So
money for
yes,
that.
this is empowering.
Yeah.
Even though I'm not 100%, like, I have the house, and I must say my mortgage, no bragging or nothing, guys, because, but my mortgage is less than 500 a month, because I did remember the heart program 10 years ago? I got into that. Now I know, I know, LJ, I'm a slave, but this slave is working it. You understand what I'm saying? And and I'm a conscious slave, so
You're a
I
conscious
know.
slave. That's different,
I
mama man. That's different. You
No,
know?
I know that, but I'm not
Okay.
gonna lie, LJ. You made me feel so bad. I was like, shit, I'm a slave. I'm thinking like, yo, I'm debt free. You know what I'm saying? But I'm the type of chick, I keep it real, real. You know what I'm saying? I was like, yo, I'm a slave. So I've been like, even now started binging on your stuff. You know what I mean? And I'm like, damn, I need to come tell you I'm a slave. I'm really a slave.
It's a
Yeah,
difference
Punta
between
Kinte.
you're a conscious slave, though. You're not an unconscious slave. You're a conscious slave. That's
I
it.
know, but look, man, you made me feel bad.
I, I'm still a
So it's
slave.
good that I'm speaking to you now. I don't feel that bad,
I'm still a
So I'm like,
slave. I'm still a slave. I rent where I live. I'm still a slave. I don't own where I live. I'm still a slave. I'm a 1% slave.
but
That's
you
it.
know what? But no, it don't look. It's best to rent where you live, and even if you have to pay, let's say you could afford 1,600, whatever. I'm not saying going above your means, do this luxury, but as long as you're safe, guess what? If anything breaks, if your AC breaks and my AC breaks, who's going to be paying more money? You or me, honey?
Well, but I'm
Me.
just saying, I mean, you, but I'm just saying in general. I'm just saying I'm still a 1% slave because I don't own where I live. The moment I eliminate the largest expense out of my life, which is the living expense,
Right.
I'll be free. That's all. That's
Well,
all I'm
guess
saying.
what though? Even though I'm in a house, let's be real. I'm no different than you. I'm no better than you because I have a home.
But I put it this way. Well, we are the same
Come
for sure.
on, let's
We're
keep
the
it
same.
real.
We're the same. We're the same. You're right. We're the same.
Exactly. Because this is
Hmm.
what you've been saying all along. And I'm like, damn, you are so right. you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. You're right. We're the same. I mean, but we're both conscious of it though. There are millions of people walking around here calling themselves homeowners with student loans older than their mortgage. They'll never be homeowners ever.
I know, but that's why I wrote that I'm not arguing with those people because
Right.
the first thing they're going to say is, oh, you a hater. You don't want people to have, and you have a home, blah, 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 blah. I'm
Right.
telling you, I was trying to coach this young lady at my former job. She's married, she was
Hmm.
living in a townhouse, all this stuff. And she had the house fever. And I was like, look, don't do it. Learn from
Mm.
me. Because
Hmm.
when I got this house in 2006, I had student loan debt.
Mm.
I should have knocked it out. But for some reason, I thought it was good to have student loan to show on the credit that
Right.
I was paying.
Me
That's what
too.
I thought.
Me too. I did too. I
Yeah.
did. I
No
did.
one said that, yo, pay it off because
Hmm.
it's going to show anyway that it's paid off.
Yes.
I put it out there. My mother and my father, um, they're hardworking people, but they're not good with money.
Yep. Same here. My
You
parents
know,
wasn't. It wasn't.
yeah, they work, they love the nice homes, you know,
Hmm.
all that, but I mean, shit, if I'm 51, how old do you think they are? Their ass
Right.
is still in debt. So I
Right.
can't turn to them and
Mm-mm.
ask them for advice,
Nope. And they don't even know
So
it. And they
I
don't
had
even
to
know it.
do, huh?
They don't even know it either.
Exactly. And you can't tell them anything. You cannot
Mm-mm.
tell people. I mean, I have cousins, I love them to life. They live in good. You know what I'm saying? But they live in the illusion. I try to
Mm.
tell my Dave Ramsey, yo, I mean, these are the people that go to what's that place again where the Obamas go? Martha's Vineyard.
Oh, that.
Yeah,
What is that? What is Martha's Vineyard? What is that?
Martha's Vineyard is like a seaside place in Massachusetts,
Okay.
a community. It goes way back. It's for the hoity-toity.
Oh, it's like a neighborhood or is it a rest? What are you talking about? Like, what is it?
It's a area. It's a
Oh, it's an
place.
area.
I
Oh,
think in
okay.
Massachusetts or
Gotcha.
something like that.
Gotcha.
That they'll and it like the rich black people
Okay. Okay.
have a area there.
Mhm.
Yeah, but it's like they're not rich,
Mm. They just
and
look
they
like
don't
they're
want
rich.
to listen to me because I'm like the baby. You know what I'm saying?
Of course. You don't know what you're talking about.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
I love them, but it's like, oh my God, they make way more much money than I do, and it's like they have so much debt,
And they don't,
and it's
so crazy. They still believe that they have more money than you, and they don't realize the amount of money you make doesn't even matter. Doesn't even matter.
oh yeah, they don't, and listening to Dave Ramsey was the same thing. People making 150, 200,000,
Mm-hmm.
200,000,
Mm-hmm.
and white, black, whatever, and it's like you can't feel sorry for them, but it's
Nope.
like there's so much in debt, and I'm like, yo. Yeah,
You
it's a mess.
you try to tell slaves that economic classes don't exist, lower class, middle class, upper class. They won't even know what you're talking about. What do you mean? What are you talking about? They'll just be totally
Well, the
blindsided.
illusion exists. The
Yeah.
illusion exists.
Mm-hmm. The
You know,
illusion.
that's what exists. Because let me tell you, I was so bold on my last job with this Dave Ramsey when people thought I was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I can't. She's not the CEO, but she's up there in upper
Mm-hmm.
management.
Mm-hmm.
And I met her, and of course, what I started talking about, Dave Ramsey.
Mm-hmm.
And I was telling her, and she looked at me and she was like, "Yes, her son was telling her about Dave Ramsey and how she needs to have a plan and blah blah blah." And she was telling me how she was divorced. Now this woman makes a whole bunch of money, and this woman was in deep debt.
Mm, mm,
Okay,
mm. How did you guys
and
even get on that subject? How'd that even happen? How'd that even come up?
um, I forgot what it was. I don't know, but that's the type of person I am. I don't care who you are, your
Right.
title, your race
Me too.
does
I'm the
not
same way.
intimidate.
I'm the same way.
It
I'm the
does
same
not
way.
intimidate me. And somehow or the other, I'm going to get on that money subject
Gotcha.
because I know they look at me like, damn, she seems real laid back. She just not,
Well, when you're debt free, you really don't care about job titles. That because that doesn't mean anything. So I talk to everybody the same way. You know how people get when the CEO is coming on the scene. Oh my
Yeah,
God. So I never act like that. I'd be like, oh, that's so and so. Hey, how you doing, man? And then I keep on doing what I'm
exactly.
doing. Yeah.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Exactly. So I forgot how we got on that topic, but come to find out, she was like, yeah, she knew about Dave Ramsey, and she was telling me she was in debt from her divorce. And guess what? She didn't look it, but she was 68 years old and she
Mm.
couldn't retire.
Oh, sheezy.
That's what I'm
Mm.
saying. This woman was making money
No,
and she
sir.
wanted to step down, because she felt, I guess the role was too much for her. And I'm like, damn,
Mm.
for real.
Man, that's
That's
oof.
like, yeah, that like opened up my eyes. And mind you, that was before I paid off my car last year. Cause that's when I became, other
Mm.
than my house,
Mm.
debt free. So I was working and I was telling everybody. I
Mm.
didn't care, you CEO, whoever you
I
were.
would
I was
not want
like,
to wait. I would not want to wake up at 68 and realize. And I tell people this: if you haven't woke up by at least age 50, because 50 is like the drop dead bottom
cut
of the
off.
line to get out of debt.
Yep.
50.
And really, if you haven't been exercising, that's like when your health
Oh
start
yeah.
decreasing.
Yes, for
So
sure.
we didn't even go into that yet,
Right.
right?
We ain't even gone into that. Ain't even gone into people that don't even take care of themselves. If you're in debt and haven't taken care of yourself and you were 50, you are in some trouble, man. You in some trouble.
You're in deep, deep
Deep
ass
trouble.
trouble.
Deep
Yep.
trouble.
And I see you work out, so you're
Yes.
ahead of the game.
I've been doing that since late 20s, early 30s, something like that.
Okay. Well,
I
keep it
noticed
up,
my
honey. You
I
look
noticed my
good.
stomach was getting big. I remember this would change my mind. I remember back then we had pages, right? I remember
Mhm.
I remember getting in the car and I remember I had to put my pager further and further to the side because it kept digging up in my stomach when I was getting in the car. I was like, okay, that's enough. That's absolutely ridiculous. That's ridiculous, Linnell. So I changed my life. I was like, okay, I can barely even put a pager in I said, that's enough. All right. Then I changed my life. That's it.
Yeah, so I just want to let people also know, if you don't mind, that
Mhm.
yes, it's about getting out of debt, but that's only part of life. The other
Right.
part is your health. Without
Hmm.
your health, you have no damn wealth,
Yeah.
you know? But you can't even enjoy being debt free if you don't take care of your body. So
Hmm.
you got to do both at the same time. And getting out of debt is work.
Yes, it is work, but it's worth it.
It is worth it.
And what
That's
I was
why.
saying earlier, I really
Mhm.
these and for me personally, I've realized that peace, you can't have peace without love, and you can't have love without peace because th- they go hand in hand, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
and debt causes messes with your peace. Anything that disrupt my peace, I remove it. Anything,
Mm-hmm.
because in order to, you only can find peace yourself. Nobody else can do it. Only you can. Nobody outside of you. Nothing. And once you find it, you know how much it's worth. And then once you know what you have, you will let nothing or no one disturb it.
Yep. Yep. Oh,
Mhm.
big discussion. 76 Science and Technology. Thank you so much for breaking that down about Martha Vineyard, because I have never been there, but my cousins tell me about it. So I thought it was in Massachusetts. Thank you. Yeah, and
Is
they
that
go,
is that Martha Stewart? Is that referring to Martha Stewart?
no, no, no,
Oh,
no, no, not
no.
Martha Stewart, Martha's Vineyard.
Okay. No, I just thought it
Yeah,
had
it's in,
something to do with Martha Stewart. Okay. All right. I was
no, nothing. It's been there probably before Martha Stewart.
Oh, gotcha.
It
Okay.
has historical whatever that my cousins were telling me, but they go,
Gotcha.
or they used to go every year and take their children and all that stuff. And don't
Okay.
get me wrong, guys, it's nothing wrong if you have the money to live that lifestyle. But if
Mhm.
you have a bunch of debt, you are living the illusion.
Mhm. Mhm. And
And
even people that live there, they're probably living the illusion. You can't even be fooled by the people that live there. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
You
yeah.
can be A lot of people can be living there in debt. You can't be fooled by just because, oh man, so and so lives at Martha Vineyard. Well, that don't really mean anything. They might can afford the payments to live there. That's about it. You know,
Yeah, yeah, it's sad.
because I can only
It's
imagine,
sad.
because you work around a lot of doctors and nurses, right? When you're in your
Yeah,
field. Can you
yeah.
imagine how deep the majority of those people are in debt, and they couldn't even imagine how many want to actually quit because of being around COVID. Their higher percentage of catching it
Yes,
is higher, right? They can't even quit because they're too deep in student loan debt. They can't quit.
exactly. When I told the doctors and the nurses I'm leaving, they all looked at my black ass like I was an alien. And like, where you going? I said, I'm gonna sit on my black ass and look at the wall.
They were like, "This mother, what's she
Yep,
talking
yep.
about?
I know they did. They looked at me like, because they know I'm nuts anyway. They think I'm nuts anyway
She
because
must be
I'm
rich. She must got a rich uncle, because nobody can do that." Yeah, I bet you they had all kind of
please.
theories of why you could do that. Trust me.
Ramsey.
What's that? Say that again. You kind of broke up.
Oh, I said I looked at some of them and
Mhm.
I told them Dave Ramsey, and that was it.
Yeah, they won't go over. I mean, I remember when I first started watching Dave Ramsey. I remember I used to hear people used to think he was mean. Oh, Dave Ramsey's mean. I don't like the way. I'm like, he doesn't sound mean to me.
Mm-mm.
He's just telling me. He's just saying, hey, use math on your finances, and that's it. I was like, cool. That's what I did, and I became free. That's it.
Well, he's like Big Papa.
Right.
Papa will tell you like it is. He don't care. He doesn't care about your feelings.
Right.
Kind of like you.
Because they're
That's why
irrelevant.
nobody calls in. They're afraid you're gonna get on them like Big Papa.
Feelings are irrelevant when it comes to money. You take your feelings out, you're gonna win with money. Take your feelings out.
Yep.
That's it. That's why I
Well,
like Dave.
I'm not gonna lie. I think, well, not think, it's because of you, because I wasn't like take my time with the mortgage, but
Right.
because of you, I'm like, yo, I need to get rid of this mortgage. It's not enough just to pay off everything else.
Man, you get rid of that mortgage, Mama Max, man, you are gonna be free as a damn bird.
Look,
They really ain't gonna understand you. You ain't got no mortgage. Oh man.
look, I want to act a fool, and
Oh,
nobody gonna know why. I think
I
I'm gonna
remember
have a.
I remember the first time, check this out. When I got out of debt, I still worked a year after I got out of debt, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I remember I was in my cubicle one day, right? And it dawned on me. I was like, damn, did we get paid last week or this week? So I stood up and I asked my coworker that was next to me. I said, hey man, did we get paid last week or this week? I mean, heads popped up, like from gopher holes popped up, and it's like, who's asking that type of question and don't know if we got paid last week or this week? They were like, oh, we know who made the big bucks and this and that, because I didn't even expect that response. And I was like, damn, I didn't realize once you're out of debt, you really don't really pay attention. You probably check to make sure your money was deposited, but you don't say, oh man, we get paid Friday, Thursday night, they're going to deposit it early. You don't think like that anymore. That's crazy.
Yep. Now, at my former job, I had a coworker. She happens to be Jewish, and she was totally out of debt. She and her husband, I mean, house paid off, everything. She wouldn't know when it was payday, and I used to look at her like she was an alien. Like, how you don't know?
She didn't know. Okay.
I'm like, how you don't know? You know, but right. I can understand it now.
How you don't know? Because you're not in debt. You don't really. You check to say, oh, okay, cool. Because and this is another thing I thought about after I quit. Never once did I go through my paycheck. You know how they do all the deductions out of your paycheck? I didn't double check to see if any of that was right. I never checked. I didn't know if they were taking out the right amount of taxes. I didn't know if they were taking out the right amount of whatever that was. I just looked at the net balance, and that's what I took home, period. I would never do that again. It's crazy how you look at things differently. Well, congratulations to you becoming a conscious slave. Not taking me calling slave the wrong way, and took it and said, okay, I'm tired of LJ saying that. I'm about to change that.
Yeah. I thought it was hilarious when you said that, because it's true. And I always told people slavery, what I said, debt is the new slavery. Yes, that's what I always tell people. Debt is the new slavery. Doesn't matter the color of your skin. And I go on my rant. And people think I'm nuts.
It's always been here. It's always been. It's not even new. It's always been here. It doesn't care what color you are. It doesn't care where you live. It doesn't care your job title. It doesn't care any of that.
You got that right.
Well, thank you for jumping on, Mama Max. I appreciate it.
Yep. Welcome.
Okay. I'll let you later. Thank you.
Yep.
That was cool. I like that. Thank you. Thank you for jumping on. I said a person says everything in my. Oh wait, no, I already went through that. I'm way back. Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah, I scrolled way too far. I think the last one he was talking about the Porsche here. What was that? Okay, there we go. Folks. Okay. My manager who drives a Porsche earns nearly twice as much as I do. And once he told me I couldn't survive if I missed 1 week wages, honestly shocked me. Yeah, people think because they make more money than you, they should be better off than you. It really doesn't have anything to do with anything. What's up, Andre, man? What's going on? Alien Squad. The only reason why I have to work 50 weeks a year is because the only reason you have to work 50 weeks a year is because you have a car payment and mortgage payment. Yeah, that's it. Some people work 50 a week to invest. So the institution's job is to convince you to sign up for something that you don't need. And the job is just, they're not, slaves don't really understand why if you hate where you work, it's because of you. Only slaves work where they hate to. Only slaves work at a place they don't like. Okay, only slaves do that. Make sure you have a home warranty. You'll pay less for repairs. The government loves to squeeze every little bit out of the people. Well, the government. This is what you'll learn once you get out of debt. You'll stop looking at the government as some sort of separate entity. The government is us. The government is the people. Okay, that's all. They don't. The government doesn't favor any. The government favors those who trust mathematics. Okay, and because when you hear people say, "Oh, the government, they're doing," then when you hear somebody talk like that, you say, "Hey, man, who works at the government? Your cousin, your mama, your sister, your brothers, your friends. Those are people that work there. Who you think space aliens work at the government? It doesn't make any sense. The government is us. You'll stop looking at it as a separate entity. When you own your home with no payments, home repairs are even cheap for this is what you guys gotta understand. Okay, so say like this. Say like I owned a home free and clear and I needed a new air conditioner. Okay. First of all, it's gonna be brand new. I'm gonna just tell you that right off the bat. It's gonna be brand new air conditioner, right? let's say Central, right? Central Air. I'm going to shop around the 3 different agencies, and then I'm going to determine if this agency is in debt. Whoever's selling it to me, I'm going for the person in debt. And this is how you can tell. They're going to give you a quote, and then you're going to say, how much for cash? Now, if you got a business that turns to you and says it's going to be the same price, they're probably not in debt. Okay. But if you go to now these are reputable companies. Okay. Not some cheap. I'm not looking for a cheap. I'm not shopping for who's cheaper. Okay. I'm looking for quality and who has a reputable who puts their name on their company, right? But it doesn't matter. They can still be quality, but in debt. I'm going to go to that person and then I'm going to pull out, hey, how much for cash? If they drop it and I get the same quality service, that's where I'm going. Steven says insurance companies will require you to upgrade certain things to maintain coverage. And I get it. I mean, I get it. I totally get it. But whoever's trying to sell me the insurance, I'm going to find out if they're selling me because they're in debt. Because again, even though the insurance company requires certain things to be covered, that doesn't stop the salesman to trying to upsell you. It's their job. I'm not saying that they shouldn't be doing it. I'm just saying there's a different degree of upsells from a salesman that is in debt versus a salesman that is not in debt. I promise you there's a difference. I promise you. Keep your life low key and watch how better your life will be. Yeah, just you don't let slaves know you have money. Don't do that. Funniest stat I saw yesterday was medium NYC rent went from $3,000 to $29.90 after COVID. Oh, went from $3,000 to $29.90 after COVID, $10. And you guys really can't. This is what you got to understand something, right? Those statistics that you see on TV, hey, the rent costs this much in this area, the rent costs this, that only applies to slaves. It doesn't matter it doesn't matter what country when you're debt free, you can live anywhere in the country that you wish. Slaves are everywhere. Slaves are making different amounts of money. So when you hear a rent costs this much in this area, no, you just go to that area, pick out the place you want, right? Millions of people are out of work. That means millions of people can't pay the prices that they're offering. You walk up and say, hey, how much for a year? If I pay you a year up front, how much is it then? It's going to change. Andre said, I'll be on Discord tonight, from 8 p.m. Eastern time, I'm assuming. You guys want to check that out? You guys should. The link's in the description of this video. Join the Discord server. Andre has a wealth of knowledge along with other SMD family members that jump in at the same time, man. You don't want to miss it. I appreciate you, Andre, for doing that. Again, the Discord server link is in the description of this video. I strongly suggest that you click on there, join the server, join the Discord server. And when you come over there, let us know what your YouTube name is so we'll know who you are, because usually the names are different once you come over there. So appreciate you, man. Stop expecting people to be happy for your success. If you escape a plantation, the people you left behind are not happy. They're not happy. I still have people that follow me from my job. I can only imagine how many people thought I was going to fail. I can only imagine how many people wish they were me. They can't say it. They can't say it. They're still going to the same job here because I quit in 2016, January of 2016. I'm about to go on 5 years since I quit my job there. I can only imagine how many people follow me on Facebook silently, like, damn, LJ's still out there, man. He still ain't got nope. Done. You got to have big balls to do what I did. You got to have big balls to quit a job making a 6-figure earner, six figures a year. You got to have some big ass balls to do that. Not you. How many people would never do that ever? They will work until they're dead. That's not me. Quit a perfectly good 6-figure making job? No, they ain't gonna do that. No, with no guarantees of success when you leave. No. How many people you think gonna do that? Not many. I know what I've done. I've done something millions wouldn't even attempt, and I've done it. And my business haven't even blown up yet. It hasn't even I'm not Dave Ramsey status yet. I will be, but I'm not there yet. And I've done something that millions won't even attempt. Stay at home, save money. Yeah, that's true. But I stay at home a lot, but I still enjoy life. Don't get me wrong. I still get out and enjoy life. In my credit score app, it says the higher credit card limit you have, the healthier credit you really have. It's just so stupid. But you got to remember that's business, okay? That's for slaves. For example, why do you think Credit Karma is free? It's free so they can sell slaves more credit. That's why it's free. Nothing's free. You think they put together a whole website, connected it to Equifax and TransUnion for free? No, that's all costs money. That's there to sell. Hold on. None of that is free. None of it. They and what slaves really don't know. This is what you can really do. Okay. You want to know your? Do you want to know your whole? You want to know your net worth? Excuse me. Do you want to know your net worth? Log into Credit Karma and find out your net worth. That's your net worth. Log in there. As soon as you log in, there's going to be a big number right at the top. That's your net worth. Now, if you want to be free, all you got to do is believe it. That's it. Oh, talking about Mama Max. In the Matrix, it was one scene in there that said after 30, we don't wake up anymore because they invested so much already. If they have to admit they've been scammed, it's gonna hurt. I gotta go rewatch. I love that movie too, by the way. That is very true. All right. That is very true. The truth hurts for real. In order to be free, in order to believe what I'm saying, they have to admit that they've been doing it wrong all these years. That's a tough pill to swallow right there, man. You got to admit to say, damn, I've been doing it wrong. I've been doing just like everybody. Yep, that's true. You're going to have to admit that you've been doing it wrong. If you're not in debt, you can't be controlled. Sure can't. She's trying to, I'm not sure what that means. Okay. You don't, you, you don't just retire because you're 65. You retire when you're debt free. I know people that retire, they believe that your debt doesn't retire. If your debt doesn't retire when you retire, then you can't retire. It doesn't make any sense. So retirement's not an age. Healthy and wealthy. Yep, sure. What's up, Screen Learning? What's going on, man? Getting out of prison debt is freedom. Sure is. What's going on, man? How you been? Big discussions. Thank you, Super Chat. Thank you again, Nicer, for doing that for me. Living the lie. What up, Dalawasha? What's going on? Looked at you like they did in the Django movie when they found out he was free. I know, right? Oh, I'm gonna watch The Matrix again. I'm gonna go back and watch. I'm gonna rewatch it again. I love that movie, the original, the first one. You think you can sell without a realtor? Can you? I don't know. Andre, is that true? Can you sell without a realtor? I'm not sure. I don't know. I've never been in that position to know that. Asked my supervisor the same question, and she looked at me like I had 7 heads. I keep telling you guys, they're looking at you like you're what? An alien. An alien. Watch out for any reoccurring payments. It's probably a bad deal. Yeah, I don't do none of that. Mama Max makes a great point about having a house. You have to pay for anything that breaks. If you eliminate the mortgage payment, your money stacks quickly, and you will be able to afford the fixes. You sure will. You'll always have money. Anything that breaks, once you have no mortgage, and anything that breaks, you'll always have the money to fix it. And you'll have not a cheap fix. You will have quality fixes, because remember, there are people out there that have built a business on their reputation and trust. They're not gonna rip you off for a sale, because they're doing it for the long run. And usually those people cost more money because they know their worth. That's what you will do. You won't shop for who's the cheapest. You will shop for who's the best with the best reputation. That's what you'll do. People you trust, that you know you're going to get what you're asking for. That's all. Steven says, I forgot all the time now which Friday I get paid. I used to, man, that was crazy when I said it. What's up, Cosmic? What's going on? Most vendors give a discount for cash for repairs so they don't have to report it to the exactly. See, no paper trail. Hey, put it this way. I don't care what the people I pay to do my service. I don't care how they report their money to IRS. That's their problem. That's their problem. As long as I do. Okay. I don't care what they do as long as I do. That's all I'm saying. Okay. Otherwise, you should get at least 3% discount since vendors actually have to pay for credit card transactions. Sure do. They want to avoid all that. Just pay for essential air to be installed in one house and the other house a full HVAC and window repair, all in cash, save 15%. All that phantom income, Cosmic. It's some celebrities that are still in big debt, but you see them and think they're winning facade. Oh, yeah, well, they got to keep up with the facade. You got to remember, most of the people you see on like big stars, and you think because they're a star, they make more money than you, but if they're making payments, they're just the same as you. They're just making bigger payments. That's it. Audrey says W-2 is the worst form of income. Sure is. Think I knew that? Didn't know that. It's like when you're a W-2 worker, it's like you're a baby. They do everything for you. They take care of your taxes. They pull this out. They pull money for your retirement. They do everything for you, so you don't have to think. All you got to do is show up for work. I'm well, enjoying freedom. Yes. So crazy, man. You can always tell people who are free because you financially free, because you can't fake it. It cannot be faked, right? When I go over to Screen Learning, I'll be seeing some, I'll listen in on some of the subjects he talk about. You could tell he's talking freely, right? You don't really have to be careful. I mean, you still got to follow the rules of YouTube. Don't get me wrong, but it's different. That's the best way I can describe, man. That's the best way I can describe it. The quality, the like the microphone, and you can just see quality, or the people that take the time to put in quality for their product. You can see it. Okay. You can sell without a realtor. I figured you could. I just didn't. I've never done it. It's called for sale by owner. Okay. Very simple. All right. Straight to the point. Thanks, Cosmic. Steven says, LJ, I come to realize after listening to your videos and talking to several slave friends that when you say you have no money to contribute to your 401k, if you're in debt, it goes right over there. It goes right over their head. You know why, Steven? Because they'll log in their account and they say, what do you mean? It's right there. You say, okay, well, whatever. Oh, Steven, man. Steven be going through my archives, man. He'd be pulling up videos. He'll comment on a video. I'd be like, damn, I made that back in like 16, 17. It's crazy. 401k is a trap. Just use that money to pay off your debt. Well, if you're a worker, put it this way. Let me put it a different way so you guys can understand. If you're debt free, retirement accounts can prepare you for when you come out in business. And this is how it can prepare you, because the only guaranteed ROI investment are taxes. Okay. Taxes are the only thing that's guaranteed ROI. So if you're a worker, right, you max out, say like you max out your 401k, which is $19,500. Okay. Not only do you get to put $19,500 away in retirement, you get to take that same $19,500 off of your taxable annual income. Slaves cannot do that. You ask a slave, hey, are you maxing out? This is how you can tell between the slaves. You can ask them this question. They don't know that you're asking to see if they're a slave or not. This is what you ask a slave. Hey, slave. I mean, I'm messing up already. You can't say that. You say, hey, person. You go, hey, man, you max out your 401k? They're going to say, oh, yeah, man. If they say it like this, if they say, yeah, man, I'm getting my match. Yeah, I maxed out the 6% and this and that. And then you'll know they're a slave, because that's not what you're talking about. $19,500 is what you're talking about. But if you ask them, if you say, oh, no, man, I'm not talking about the match. I'm talking about the $19,500. They're going to look at you like you're nuts. They're going to be like, what are you talking about? I don't have no money to max out. If they don't have the money to max out $19,500, the match that they believe they're getting is an illusion. That's a trick. That's a trick. to have them continue to think that they're getting something for nothing. That's a trick. You think the company is not getting a huge benefit for creating a retirement account? They're getting a huge benefit for that. They don't realize that when they retire, they will be paying debt with, they'll be paying taxes and their debt with it, with a social security check with no income coming in. Sure won't. Kevin says 401k is a tool. Sure is. Either can be a benefit or a liability depending on how you look at it. But there are tax advantages. It's only a tool if you're not in debt. I want to make sure you guys understand that clear. 401k, if you're in debt, 401k is not a benefit to you. If you get out of it, if you get out of debt, it's a benefit to you. It will train you how to take advantage of taxes. So when you practice with 401k, when you anything that has tax benefits, 401k, HSA, health savings account, those are all tax benefits. It'll teach you how to do it. So when you practice as a worker and then you finally break out the W-2, there will be more things just like that inside of business. So that's just like practice for you. Okay. When you're debt free, you can have fun and be happy even with YouTube and make disposable income. Sure can. You can be you. When you get on the mic, you can tell the people that are being themselves, or you can tell the people that are just doing it strictly for money. You can tell. You can tell. I promise you. 401k match is not yours unless you stay with the company for 5 years. 401k, if you're in debt, I want you guys to understand something. Don't worry about how long you're with the company. You get vested in 5 years. You got to be with that's if you're in debt, none of that exists. You're not matching anything. It doesn't matter how long you're with the company, 5 years or not. I think they just say that so they can get the max out of their money. As long as you, hey man, keep your money in there for 5 years, man. You'll get a vesting match and all this stupid nonsense. No, that's just they're not doing it for you. It's business. Okay. Just dawned on me, modern day business owners are the slave owners working on the plantation. Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess. It's all the choice. They're the plantation owners for sure. They want you to work for them forever, just like your bank wants you to work for them forever. That's why the banks stay rich and employers stay. And businesses create jobs. All right, without jobs, slaves would have no place to go. Okay, that's why the bigger picture, you guys, so you guys can understand. That's why businesses get tax breaks, because they create jobs. Because without jobs, there could be no slaves creating things. We need slaves to create things. FIC says, greetings LJ and SMD family. I have my 14-year-old and 8-year-old tune in. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Thank you. Have them teach. Hey, man. And I mean that when you get your kids involved, listening to this right now, they will, if they stick with it. Okay. Because social media is powerful. Okay. Social media is powerful. If you're debt-free parents, you're going to have to stay on them because they got social media influence. But if you can keep them on the right track, they will never know what it's like to be in debt ever. They will never know what it's like. Man, never know what debt is like. You're going to have to teach them to be quiet though. You got to teach them to be quiet. If you can't afford school or car, house, don't get it. If you can't afford it, there is no option. Andre says the max is 55K actually. I'm talking W-2, Andre. Okay, I'm talking W-2, all right? Don't start throwing your alien talk in here, all right? Paying tuition. Thank you, sir. Johnny Blaze for the $9.99 super chat. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you, man. I want you guys to see. I went way past. I want you, because I get a lot of people saying this to me all the time. Hey, LJ, man, how come you ain't bigger than what you are? I know why I'm not bigger than it's not marketing. It's because a lot of people just don't know what this is. You have to, in order to believe me, you have to change your entire life. You would have to erase all of the financial knowledge that you have been taught. You have to erase it all. How many people are going to do that? Not many. Not many. Remember, tax-free is better than tax deferred. Sure is. That's what I'm trying to get to. That's what I'm trying to get to for sure. Thank you, Cosmic. Tax, as Andre said, tax sovereign. That's my goal. But I will get there. But right now, honestly, for me, you guys, my goal right now is to have love and peace. Peace and love. That's my goal. I know it sounds weird, but trust me, I can't explain it. For some reason, that's my goal right now. That's my only goal right now. Enigma says, I have a 457B, no match, but I still managed to put in the max. Yep, put in the max because you are getting tax savings. This is what I want you guys to understand. Retirement accounts that are tax deferred or whatever you want to call it, right? You got to remember, slaves cannot do that. Go back. If you guys don't believe me, go back to your job. Ask one of your coworkers, say, hey man, have you ever maxed out your 401k? I guarantee you none of them say yes. None of them. And when I say max, I'm talking about the 19th. It counts on if you're single with a family. I'm just talking about single. $19,500. You ask them, have you ever maxed out your 401k? I guarantee you, not all of them will say no. They will say no. Nope. Nuh-uh. No. First, you got to get over it. They're going to say the match. No, you're going to say no. I'm not talking about the match. I'm talking about the full 19,500. Because I'll never forget this. I want to tell you guys a story. I never, ever had maxed out my 401k. Never in my life, right? The last year I was debt free, I did. I maxed it out. I remember at the time when we could do it, we could just log into this retirement account thing, move this little bar, and then it just chooses, right? I maxed it out. HR called me that same day. Hey, LJ, this LJ Young? Yeah, what's going on? Hey, we noticed that you moved the bar all the way up to 19,500. You know how much money that's going to take out of your check a week? I said, sure do. They were like, oh, okay, we're just checking because we're trying to see if that was a mistake because nobody does that. I was like, I know. They were like, okay, thank you, sir. That was it. Do the math with multiple businesses. It's distinguishing, actually. Sure is, man. I'll get there. I'm going to get there, man. This journey, I want you guys to understand something, though. This journey is for you. You go at the pace you want to go to. Multitasking is bullshit. Don't multitask. I know in the working world, I think you are something if you multitask. No, you do one thing at a time. Because if you multitask, that means you're not putting your full concentration on one single thing. You're just giving it a piece of your concentration. You do one thing, full concentration, one at a time, all the way to the point to where you can't do anything anymore, and then you move on to the next one. That's how I live my life. 401k max is 57,000. That's the real max. See, there go Cosmic and Andre talking alien stuff. If you want that explained, I go to the Discord server, okay? Most people don't read the IRS rules about oh, wait a minute. Okay, wait, she's going back. Okay. Well, that's the real max. See? Most people don't read the IRS rules about 401k contributions. See what I'm saying? My mind is always open. Now, the reason why, I want you guys to understand something. The reason why I listen to Cosmic Wisdom, the reason why I listen to Andre, they are debt free. I wouldn't listen to somebody tell me anything about 401ks that have student loans older than their children. I wouldn't listen to them. You don't listen to people like that. You making car payments? Yeah, I don't want to hear anything you got to say. Oh man, this is what you invest. You haven't even invested in yourself first. You think I'm gonna listen to you? No, sir. Many take the red pill, but they can't accept it. Then throw it up and keep their change. Sure do. Can't even get that red pill down their throat. Thoughts about millions not paying a mortgage for 1 year, a mortgage forbearance. Ooh, gosh. Ooh, they are toast. That is, you see, slaves don't know. Slaves think this is okay. Let me kind of give you a picture of it. Slaves are getting a taste of what it's like what their lives would be like not having a mortgage, right? They're not saving money. I guarantee you, they're not saving money. They're spending money. Okay. They're not having to pay whatever their rent is. But you got to remember, usually the mortgage is the largest monthly expense that they have, right? They're not paying it, right? So they believe now they have extra money. You think they're taking that money and paying down student loan debt or paying off credit card? No, they're not. They're spending it. They believe they have money. This is like, you guys don't understand. Mortgage forbearance is like a heaven sent for banks. They are raining money. Those people will never be able to pay that money back ever. They'll be paying on that money for as long as they possibly can until they're kicked out of the house. That's it. And then it says, they won't even know what the limit is for 401k, let alone the max. Yeah, they won't even know. That is true. That is true. That is true. They won't even know what the limit is. That's true. Because I never knew what the limit is. I never bothered to learn it. Know why? Because I never had the money to do it. It wouldn't matter. Why should I know what the limit is if I don't even have the money to do it? It doesn't even matter. So so this is how they trick slaves into contributing. Hey man, if you contribute, you do it up to the 6%, whatever number they make up, 6%, 8%, 3%, whatever. It's just all made up numbers, whatever that's going to benefit the company. You believe it, and then you're going to max out that max, and you think you're going to get a match after 5 years of vested, all that stupid bullshit. It's all made up. It doesn't make it. It's nothing. It's nothing. Now, you guys know I don't really cuss a lot, but when you hear me say a cuss word, it's not to use. I don't use cuss words as filler words. Okay, if they're not filler words, I don't use a cuss word because I can't think of another word. When you hear me say a cuss word, it's so you can clearly understand the seriousness of what I just said. That's serious. It's serious, man. It's serious. If you don't know, if you've never maxed out your 401k, and if you don't even know what the max is, that's serious business. That's serious. The drug dealer wants your money forever, just like the bank. Yeah, they understand money, recurring payment. Well, yeah, but I want you guys to understand something. Okay. Especially you younger cats, because you guys probably know somebody selling drugs. Okay. When you get out of debt, you understand money, and money is not there, and you will never risk the time in your life for money. Right. So, but when you're younger, you don't really know that. But anyway, if you know somebody selling drugs, right, and they got a nice car, I want you to go up to them and see if they're making car payments. Okay. Okay. Go to a drug dealer, one of your friends, somebody probably selling something. Don't matter. It don't matter. And then they got a nice car. I want you to find out if they're making car payments. Now, here's a person making illegal money, not even paying taxes. They don't even pay taxes, right? They're making unlimited amounts of money, and they're making car payments. You got to ask yourself, why are they making car payments? That don't make any sense. Does that make sense to you? They're making car payments. The reason why, because it doesn't matter the amount of money you make. It doesn't matter. And what's so funny, when you're young and you hear drug dealers say stuff like, it's so funny when you're older and you're debt free, right? You'll say, "Hey man, nah man, uh, I didn't put I don't put this car in my name. I put it in my cousin's name. I put it in my mama's name or whatever." You think, what do you think that you think if you buy a brand new Mercedes Benz and you put in your mama's name, you think the people investigating you are not going to go? They're going to go to your mom and say, "Hey man, you don't make amount of money to to have this Mercedes. You're going to go to prison if you don't tell us who did this. You going to put your parents in prison?" No. People in debt. You guys don't understand something. People in debt don't understand that you guys don't know, you don't trust mathematics. Whatever you're doing, whatever you're doing won't make mathematical sense. You'll never be able to make it add up because it won't make sense. And if you're making illegal money, you can't claim it on your taxes. You can't. You'll tell on yourself, right? You'll tell on yourself. And then if you can't claim it, that's called tax evasion. That's an automatic. That's an automatic. Student loans are at 0% now. Interest rate, best time to pay. The best time to pay off your student loans. You ask the average slave Hey man, you should be paying off your student. Oh man, there's no interest. What that got to do with anything? They won't pay their student loans because it's zero interest, which makes absolutely no sense. Debt equals crack for sure. I know some drug dealers that rent a car a few times a month and post pics on Instagram like they winning. Yeah. So crazy. This is really outside the subject, but if you knew, if you, how can I put this? If drug dealers, especially young drug dealers, if you're a drug dealer and if you knew you were risking losing the time in your life for green pieces of paper, you would take a step back and think about what you're doing. You would. You would think to yourself, I'm risking something that I can never give back. Nobody can give me more of for green pieces of paper. When you can do the exact same thing you're doing, but you could do it legally. You don't have to do it illegally. You can do it legally. The exact same thing. All you got to do is come out and follow the rules. That's it. All you got to do is learn the rules. Like you go like this. Think about it this way. Drugs are drugs, okay? There's drugs are drugs, okay? If you're doing it illegally, that means you're doing it illegally because you're not licensed to sell drugs. You don't have a license, right? But if you but if you go out and you become a pharmacist, now you're illegal, you can legally sell drugs, right? Doesn't that seem that to me when I think about that, that means that says there's rules. If you want to do this, you must follow the rules. You see what I'm saying? People, I don't know. People don't really know. A pharmacist, they're selling drugs, but they're selling drugs legally. See what I'm saying? Oh man, it's crazy. Instagram is full of people that present fake life to the world, but don't even know they are trapped. Yeah, well, there a lot of people are putting up a facade so they can sell. All right, just like I tell you guys, a lot of these YouTube channels, man, you fall for the facade. You look at their rooms, you look at the quality of the video, you look at their dress nice, the hair is always cut. In the beginning, they show a lot of Porsches and houses, and those are all props. When you go to a channel and you go to a finance channel, and the first thing they show you is a whole bunch of expensive cars and lakefront properties and all the view from a building or where they live, those are props. Okay. Those are only attractive to slaves. Because when I see stuff like that, I think to myself, why are you showing me? Well, that's not for me. No, when I see stuff like that, I say to myself, that stuff's not for me. That's for slaves. That's for slaves. Some parents put their kids in financial prison, opening account. Oh my God, don't get me started on that, Johnny Blaze, man. That's the ultimate. Nothing says slave. Nothing screams slaves than parents that put stuff in their children's name. When they do that screams, I'm a slave. You put an innocent child's name on a debt or a bill because you can't even put your own name. That screams slave. Parents have no idea the financial injustice that they do to their children when they do that. They have no idea. They just think it's normal. Oh man, let me put this light bill in my kid's names. Never stop one saying, how come I can't put the light bill in my name? Maybe I should take care of the reason why I cannot. That's low down and dirty right there. Expensive clothes are keeping people trapped. You know what's so crazy? Clothes are not expensive. Like when you put a name on a shirt, right? What's that red name? What's that shirt? The impressing? It's in red letters. I forgot what it is. They make bags and t-shirts. It's really expensive. It's the same t-shirt. It's just with the name. They just made you believe the name is worth the product. So people will buy a $5 t-shirt. The companies will buy a $5 t-shirt, put a name on it, and then sell it for 80. It's the same shirt. It's no different. But slaves believe if they walk around with this T-shirt on with this name on it, that somehow tells everybody else that they have money because they're wearing this shirt. That's not true. It didn't cost $80 to make that shirt. That's not true. Mama Mac says, drug dealers do not want to put in the hard work to become pharmacists. No, they don't. But drug dealers out there that are good at what they do, they don't realize that they could switch that and change that to legally. You don't have to risk the time in your life for it. It doesn't matter how much money you're making. It's like this. How much money, put it this way, how much money do you think it would take to spend 10 years in prison? How much money do you need to, how much would, for somebody to say like this, say like people could, what if people got caught doing something, but they could pay somebody to do the time for them? Okay. So somebody walked up to you and said, hey man, how much can I pay you to spend 10 years in prison? How much money would that take? There would be not enough money in the world for me. 10 years in prison? No, but that's what you're doing. You don't know that. I bought a nice shirt at Walmart the other day for $3. Oh yeah, I get some clothes. Walmart got some nice clothes, man. I be getting some of my workout gear from Walmart. Sure do. Some people's life are like the green screen. They use in movies to deceive people. Yeah. But once you're debt free, I can see slaves, but they can't see me. Slaves don't know. You got to understand, when you become debt free, slaves don't know that you can see them. Right? When you hear a slave talk about, let's say, their portfolio, right? And then you hear them adding in bank-owned things in their portfolio, you will know immediately if they know what they're talking about or not. That's a difference. Supreme. Thank you, Bobby Brown. Supreme. That's exactly I remember the other day, I was on social media or something, right? And I think I was talking to my girlfriend or something, right? And this person had a Supreme bag and shirt and blah blah blah, and brought up, oh, that's expensive. I said, what's expensive? That shirt and the bag you got on. I said, why is it expensive? Because it's a Supreme. I said, what's Supreme? Right? Oh, that's a expensive brand. I'm like, oh, okay. all right, whatever. But then you see the kids wearing Supreme, like, oh, look, he must have money. He or she has money. Why? They're wearing Supreme. Oh, okay. Well, if that's what you believe. Supreme is the T-shirt. Okay, gotcha. Screen Learner says, Hermes sell $5,000. You lying, Screen Learner. A $5,000 T-shirt that ball up when water and body hit. You gotta be. Hey, congratulations to them though. They can sell a T-shirt for $5,000. Congratulations. I should start selling shirts with a logo. But here's the difference though. You got to remember, companies like what the Screen Learning just talked about, Supreme. You got to remember, they put in time to get people to believe that their product is worth that money. They put in time to say, hey, customers, if you see our name, it's worth this. They made them believe that. That takes time. You got to make customers believe that your product is worth a lot of money. Once you get people to believe it's worth a lot of money, that's it. Like Jordans, Jordans are not, they don't really cost that much money to make Jordans, but as long as people believe Jordans are whatever they are, people will pay it. That's it. You better believe it. Debt equals prison. Believe that. Financial prison, mental prison, you are a slave, period. All right, man, we're going on 3 hours. I got to get off. I'm tired, man. My voice is tired. I'm tired. All right, man. Like I said, catch Andre tonight on the Discord server. Link is in the description of this video. He's going on at 8 o'clock tonight for an hour, 8 to 9, he said. All right. The next person that says, I just bought a new house, I'm going to comment. And the next person post a pic that says, I just bought a new house, I'm going to comment and say, did they pay cash? Definitely going to get blocked. Oh, yeah, you can't say that. No, you can't say that. They're going to say, hey, nobody can afford, only rich people can afford to buy houses cash, blah, 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 you know. Thank you, Cosmic. Appreciate it. Yeah, they do. They do. They use celebrities to market expensive clothes and shoes, and they pay the celebrities to do it because if the celebrities are wearing it, people will believe it. That's how it works. I mean, it's but they got to pay a celebrity to do it, And you notice how they get celebrity. I noticed they're getting celebrities as far as credit repair services. A credit repair service will pop up, and then your first person you'll see is a star. And then they'll go to regular people throughout this. Hey, look, my credit score went up 500 points, 100 points, or whatever. Now I went from a 600 to a 7, blah blah blah, and then they just believe it. That's all. All right, you guys have a wonderful evening. All right, thank you all for joining. Thank you, Mama Max, for jumping on. I appreciate it. Thank you, Screen Learning, Johnny Blaze, Andre, Cosmic, all you guys, and I'm set apart. Appreciate all your participation, man. Appreciate it. Until next time, all right? You guys have a wonderful, wonderful Sunday evening.